to me was the overall theme of last year's CPT 2021 CPT season. And with this past week, we have seen that trend continue. We have found out that there was no flukes whatsoever. And someone who's not a new king, but of course a king nonetheless, the top influencer in the game, one of the best players on planet Earth in this Street Fighter V thing, my brother Brian Neff is here to talk about all the action with me. What's going on with you, bro?
I'm chilling, man. I was wondering where you're going with that. I appreciate the respect you put on the name, but yeah, we got to talk about some continued storylines from last year's CPT going on into this one. Before we get into all the action, of course, we always want to give a big shout out to all our viewers and supporters in Japan. We always appreciate you tuning in and supporting No Neutral. And that said, yes, we had the CPT UK and Ireland event last weekend, and lo and behold, a now familiar, now household name in the fighting game, the Street Fighter scene, took the title once again. The Four Phils, a solo Falk main who arguably, or maybe not even arguably, factually put Falk on the map in terms of the Street Fighter V meta, has taken the title of the King of UK and Ireland, and with emphatic fashion. Once again, we've talked about the stats on the show, how unlikely it is to win a major tournament coming in from the loser side bracket. But this guy, the Four Phil, said that's no problem to me. No problem at all. Not even amazing, problem X.
Bro. And put a stop to that. At this point, look, man, you know where I like how you brought up the idea of him being a household name, and I want to make sure we use opportunities like this to enforce that even more. Guys, the man just Four Phils, he just won the last CPT event he entered prior to this. He won the first CPT of 2021 as far as this region. And then he didn't enter the other one because of prior obligations. And then he comes into this season and wins the first event again. Well, I guess the only one now, you know, with everything on the line. At this point, you cannot debate his status. You cannot debate his strength or his dominance over the region right now. Fair and square, and both times that he won, he played up against Problem X, who is the best player of all time from this very region. So it's not like he's just getting lucky and not having to fight the tough path. He's fighting the biggest names, the strongest players that you could want him to fight. Falk had some adjustments. Well, he won before those adjustments. So, you know, naturally, Four Phils right now is playing as the strongest player over there, has won 2 straight events. He's godlike, and in the end of the day, there can always be excuses made, but none of them count. And the last thing I'll say regarding that is, if it was random how the online tournaments went, then I would say Problem X, the best player ever from the region of Street Fighter V, would get like maybe a second place here, a ninth place there, a 33rd place there. But Brian, where did Problem finish all 3 of these CPTs of these last 3 CPTs?
It hurts to say, but second place, consistent.
That's very
second
consistent
place.
to me. That's very consistent to me. So the results are clearly facts. Somebody keeps getting first, someone keeps getting second. So there's no excuse. The better player won. Good job, Four Phils. Get that man all the respect, and make sure y'all follow him on Twitter.
For sure, yeah, he's pumping out the content these days. You know, he's doing the content creator route, which apparently played into a few, not just him, but a few people's runs for this CPT event. I think a lot of people went in kind of relaxed and loose. I do want to speak a bit more about Four Phil's run. But before we get into that detail, though, the man went into losers. We mentioned he won the tournament from loser side, and top 16 Soundboy, super strong Cody, put him into losers. Soundboy is no stranger to this top 8 position, but I think to beat the Four Phils, he wasn't projected to do that. That was an upset. On top of that, we had a bunch of upsets going into the top 8, which kind of shook up how this bracket went. Infectious losing to Broski in the top 16 as well. I don't think the Broski loss was the upset, because Infectious admitted that Broski's a CPT demon, beating him many times before, but with Dulcim. So with Oro being the solo main now for Broski, people were like not really sure what was going on, what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen either, because Infectious went in with the Luke. I personally feel like he should have went with the Ken, actually. But, you know, Broski's been playing phenomenal. I'm a huge Broski fanboy. This was a great weekend for Oro. It's not only did Broski make top 8.
Oro community.
Not only Broski making top 8.
What's going on with that, man? How come I'm up here seeing 2 Oros in top 8 winners side?
Not only one established one that, you know, if you've been paying attention with Broski, but Cam the Cypher, a 15-year-old up-and-coming player, gets into top 8 winner side using solo Oro, taking a win over Hurricane in top 16 to secure that position. The first match of top 8 winners was an Oro mirror. Now, did any of us call that? No, it really gave me a new perspective on the character, and yeah, I was super impressed with his level of play. So shout out to Cam the Cypher, young up-and-coming player, and that's what we love to see. I love to see younger players enter the scene. You know, they're going to be the people leading the scene in a few years, so it's awesome to see young players, talented young players doing work in the CPT. But, you know, all these upsets as it were, set up the situation where Infectious, Hurricane, the 4 Phils were all in losers going to top 8. And then one of them had to come out on top, and the 4 Phils, he did the thing, and not only did he, you know, win all these all these very strong players, he also beat Infectious. Well, I want to remind you, Infectious won the CPT season final. It almost sounds like 4 Phils has an undefeated record since the 2021 season. It's not really the case. He won the CPT event. In the season finals, Infectious, you know, he's kind of like the Bruce Wayne, the Batman of Street Fighter. I almost feel like, you know, he goes into the lab and figures out how to beat that one player, and he came out with a great strategy to beat Infectious. But this time it was 3-0, 4 Phils over Infectious. So not only did he conquer, you know, repeat his success from the previous CPT to prove that it was no fluke when he won, he also conquered, I feel like, you know, the one kind of questioning moment, like, oh yeah, you beat all these people, but Infectious.
Yeah, but not Infectious.
Nope.
Yeah, that's true.
Nope. He got that 3-0 decisive victory on the way to securing the title. So I agree with your assessment. I feel like there's no doubt, or there should be no doubt in anyone's mind, the 4 Phils is the dominant player from this region as of today. No questions in my mind.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, bro, I love seeing someone like that win, even just from the standpoint of, like, he didn't really have anyone to copy, in my opinion, as far as his character is concerned.
He's a trailblazer.
The #1 fault, and that's one of the benefits you get. I feel the same way with Adam, with his like Laura, his poison. Like, you know, when you are the trailblazer with a character, it's not that easy to get practice for you because you are the person that's really creating everything. And man, how about even his conventional footsies in that last set against Problem X? So the way that he set that stuff up, I even remember situations where at least once, maybe twice in key situations, 4 Phils actually closed out a match where he would do stand medium kick on block. And immediate, which is negative on block. So it's Problem X's turn, and then he'll immediately do that long stand fierce. And a medium kick pushed her back so far that it's kind of like an auto time with Punisher space trap into the EX to do a whole lot of damage. So yeah, man, his reads, his comfort. I really do think, like you brought up there, like I know I talked to 4 Phils before this tournament, and he was saying how like he's in full time content creator mode pretty much. Like he's not. He would have been okay if he lost the tournament mentally. That's where he was at with it. Like he's more so focused on the content. But one thing we talked about is like with that being the case, you really have a lot more freedom mentally, and I think that we saw that in the way that he played this week. But even when he was that pressed on it, he won back then too. So in the end of the day, I guess the man is just that good. So shout out to 4 Phils and shout out to UK for an amazing tournament because they had a lot to live up to after how godlike CPT West Coast was.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to 4 Phils for being the Oro Dream Killer. I just got to get that off my chest before we move on. He ended both the Oro runs. How could you, 4 Phils?
Oh,
you broke my heart.
Yeah, huh?
You broke my heart. Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, Oro, I think people are debating his strength right now. I think Oro is cropping up in a lot of people's maps, but the Falk matchup is one I personally felt before. It's not that fun for Oro, and man, he showed why. It was just dreams were being crushed by 4 Phils right there. I was like, come on, guys, and it was just not happening.
I feel like everyone was rooting for the Oros. Like no matter what character you play, I feel like everyone was rooting for the Oros.
I mean, it's something new, you know. It's exciting as long as you don't have to deal with Tengu Stones. It's fun to watch.
I wish they didn't have to play each other first.
Right. But either way, it was all good games. I was happy to see Oro finally win the CPT set, like you're saying. It finally happened. Who knows? Maybe we'll see that continue. That said,
I think so.
That said, we'll continue on. We'll continue on to the next topic here. Of course, we have to talk a bit about the gameplay on this show, and I think it's always good to bring up mechanics that the community might not fully understand, because believe it or not, there's stuff in this game. What are we, 5-6 years into it? There's mechanics in this game that I promise you, even high-level Warlord ranked players don't fully implement or fully understand. And I think me and Rob each have a couple examples to bring up about these such mechanics and maybe how you can study these and implement them into your own gameplay to get the edge on your opponent. One that I always bring up, I've harped on this plenty of times, and I still think it bears repeating, is understanding your defensive tech options. By that I mean, like, when you get knocked down, do you quick rise? Do Do you back roll, or do you do no recovery and just lay on the ground there for a while? Because believe it or not, I think 99% of the player population just defaults to mashing back roll without thinking why.
Just get away. Just get
away.
It's less oaky.
If I asked you why did you do that, you won't have an answer. This is a very common thing, even amongst high-level players, like players I've been training partners against, and I've had to be like, hey man, stop doing that. Like, I need you to think about this because we need to train this aspect of the game together. Like, it's gotten that bad. But what people don't understand, when you choose a tech option, that influences what the opponent can do on offense to continue their pressure. If you quick rise in a situation, usually that means that the opponent on offense is able to get in your grill and be close enough to do a throw or strike mix-up, right? So you might be thinking, why would I ever quick rise? If that means if I back rolled instead, I would be at a situation where maybe they can hit me with a further reaching button, but they can't really threaten throw. And that's because there's a mind game there. If you always back roll, there's often ways to chase that down in order to get the throw mix up, because back roll happens slower than quick rise. The opponent has more time to approach if you back roll. So they can clear that gap. Maybe if they do, instead of a single dash up, they double dash, right?
Or maybe like a fireball character might be able to like throw a light fireball to follow behind.
Right.
But if you quick rise, you might have a move that can punish the fireball.
They have more time to set up their approach in order to gain that ground or do something meaty. So you can condition opponents to try to chase down your back roll consistently. But what happens if when they commit to chasing down your back roll, you just suddenly quick rise and mash your 3-frame? What people don't often realize is that offensive sequences to beat back roll often are punished by quick rise and buttons. So people often be like, oh, offense is too strong, this, that, and the third. If you don't use your tech options to mix up what the opponent has to do to continue your pressure, you're not both playing the human mind game, because there's human fallibility and reacting to these things. That's a fact. And also,
you gotta
straight up
study
Oki
to
options.
know whether that character's Oki in that situation covers both rises or not.
A lot of people don't study defensively. They don't study the other character's knockdowns to understand exactly what's allowed. Like we talked before even turning on the cameras about Nikali. Now, I gotta admit, I need to double check the numbers for this latest patch.
That's
previously,
one of his biggest drawbacks.
His knockdown, if he got the slash knockdown, if you quick rise, he can get in range to throw, but if he back rolled, he'd have to double dash in order to get the throw pressure. But then if you keep back rolling, he always double dashes. Once you quick rise, you'll punish that double dash. So you can get objective punishes on people trying to overextend on their offense if you mix up this thing up. And I'm telling you, if you start watching certain players, you'll notice habits. Some people don't think about it, and you can exploit that both on offense and then use that to your advantage on defense to mix them up.
And just to build off of that, another situation that's pretty similar to that is where, normally, let's say I'm using Karen, but any character, there's bread and butter combo situations where the Oki situation is known. Whereas there's sometimes where there's a hit, an anti-air or something, where it just was a weird interaction that this person 99% of the time did not study for. Like, there was no way that you expected this to happen. So if you notice, like at the highest level, sometimes you'll see somebody wake up and do a jab, whatever, a 3-frame, 4-frame, whatever their fastest button is. And the reason is because it's an unexplored type of situation. So just a random example that I could think of right now is, normally with Karen, I would do like a anti-air crouch heavy punch or something like that, right? But let's say someone jumped at me, a Kim player, and I went, and they were kind of far away, and I went for like a heavy Tenko for an anti-air, and it traded. But even though it traded, which means I got hit, my Karen got hit, and his King got hit, and went and flipped out. Well, now I'm plus, so I'm gonna try to probably dash up for Oki, but I don't actually know if I'm plus enough to dash in that situation or not. So the Kim player has a much higher chance than normal for, basically, the risk reward is better for the Kim player to wake up with a jab in that spot. And there's a billion different situations like that. And knowing something like, having that in your brain makes it so that, it can be the turning point in a big set for you. But another piece of advice, or another mechanic I think that people don't use enough, is backdash OS tech. OS standing for option select. I don't remember exactly when this was found. It was a few years ago now. But I still don't think that it's the most commonly utilized thing, at least when I'm looking at people CFN replays and I can see their buttons. Like Brian, do you use backdash OS tech or
no?
not?
I was about to say you're getting deep. I know what you're talking about, but I've actually never incorporated this into my gameplay. And you're getting fancy on the people right here,
bro.
So
that
you gotta break it down for the people.
So effective, man. Like especially, I would say that it's especially important against command grab characters, because you actually cover the command grab and the regular throw in that spot. But to tell you guys what backdash OS tech is, so you input backdash, and oh my god, this sounds so like it's so geeky how deep this is, but you input the backdash.
It is.
And I think like the first 4 frames of a backdash, you're still grounded. That's why if you backdash and someone goes for a button, you'll still get hit into a combo, right? Into a regular combo. So in those first 4 frames, you still can be thrown as well. So if you backdash and someone threw you in those first 4 frames, you are gonna get thrown. But the thing is, it's an option select, meaning the game or the program is kind of gonna pick the best option for it. So what happened is you backdash, like of course for backdash you hit back twice. So back, and then on the second back, you input your throw input. If your opponent tries to throw you, your character's gonna tech it. If your opponent does nothing at all, like just tries to bait or do a delay, then your character is gonna backdash. And if they go for, I want to say also if they go for an immediate button, if they go for an immediate button, you actually block that too because the second back is actually delayed. So it covers a meaty button, meaty throw, and command grabs and baits. So it's just an extremely strong option that people should be using, but don't think of a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely some advanced tech. That's like really advanced. People feel like Street Fighter, or people call Street Fighter 4 like OS fighter. Like that's what's kind of like a derogatory term. But in Street Fighter 5, I know Do was representing that tech for a while, I believe, and a few other players brought it up back in like 2018. I feel like is when I first started hearing about this.
Probably.
But yeah, I don't think a lot of players have incorporated that. It's definitely a higher level technique and one that's not obvious. I mean, maybe some people watching this are still confused. What do you mean by option select? You might have to have a whole primer course until you get it. I feel like an option select is something that you won't get until you feel it in your hands. I think it's really one of those things where you have to do it once to understand.
I feel like the easiest way for people at home to go ahead and try it out is to go pick Ryu in training mode and do crouch medium kick into fireball cancel, right? So, and the option select is pretty much, if you just do the crouch medium kick and a fireball cancel, or you can set the dummy, like we're recording, to do it. And if the crouch medium kick whiffs, the fireball is not going to come out. But if the crouch medium kick hits the opponent, or in any way it makes contact, then the fireball is going to come out. So,
but Rob, isn't that called a buffer?
Man.
You see what I'm saying? The terminology, it goes deep. And it goes deep. And then at the end of the day, everything's an option select. So you kind of open up a can of worms on this show. That might be some advanced fighting game philosophy, because a buffer is a type of option select.
Maybe you should make a video on it, Brian, honestly.
I've done it in the past, and trust me, the YouTube comments debating it, I said, I don't even know if I want to poke this bear anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
This becomes real philosophical. You know what I'm saying? Like a rectangle. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle's not a square. It just keeps going deeper. Like, you might have people quoting Plato on you eventually when you keep going down this rabbit hole. But just know, the backdash option select tech, it's definitely powerful. And yeah, you're right. That's something maybe some higher level players should keep looking into. I wonder who's using that on the down low that we don't know about.
Bro, you know something funny? Yo, Smug, if you're watching this right now, there was a time, this was years ago, like very early in Street Fighter 5. And I was playing with Smug, and I remember, I swear, it looked like his character was starting at backdash, and then he teched. And that was the first time I ever seen that. And I was like, bro, like, what was that? It looked like your character started backdash and you tech. I didn't know if it was lag or I don't know what it was. And he was like, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I think you're just seeing stuff. I swear I remember that, Smug. I love you, my God.
Okay, so Smug is low key.
Smug was hot in the tech for Big Hollywood.
That's totally on brand for Smug. You know, if he's doing backdash option select tech, that's not with the greatest of ease. That sounds like some try-hard stuff right there.
Yeah.
He can't let that get out. That has to stay down low.
And you know Smug always playing at level 10, casuals, whatever, it don't matter. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's good at making it look easy. I admire that, because I'm out there sweating. You see the stress and the pain on my face that I'm playing. But that said, we know a few players are going to be sweating this next event because coming up, we're going to be going into the top 16 of the France, Spain, and Portugal CPT event. Another super heavy-hitting region, the home of former EVO champions and some of the hottest players in the Street Fighter V meta right now, because we have people like the wheels have kept turning in this region. Because I felt like the story was the big story was Mr. Crimson for a while, right? But then we saw Killzoo coming out, getting the CPT wins.
What you talking about, Brian?
I'm saying for a while. I guess he came back to the four. Are you saying I'm downplaying him right now? You're right. He did 5-0 Killzoo after. He reminded us that he was still on top. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it's just a short-term memory loss. You're right. There's been no point where Mr. Crimson has actually been the flames have been put out since he's had that hot streak for sure. I guess they just haven't competed in a while, so we haven't got to see is that still the case, because Mr. Crimson definitely the guy to beat right now. Killzoo coming out making that, I guess, kind of a surprise victory. We knew he was definitely super strong in the region and doing really well.
I don't think people expected that. You're right. I do not think people expected that.
I expected him to be in the top 3, like in the conversation, but to get the win over, of course, Luffy's the guy that was missing from the 2021 season finals. He got, I believe, second and third in the 2021 season, but didn't qualify. So I feel like those are the 3 main players that people are looking to in this region currently. But I'm telling you, I think France low-key is one of the strongest regions. And not just Street Fighter, but fighting games in general. They've been making a lot of noise in recent years. I mean, Luffy is an EVO champion from the Street Fighter 4 era. And I feel like even since then, people didn't really give all due respect to the region. But I think in recent years, there's more exposure, there's more events. That's one great thing about the online CPT environment, is that you can't ignore the players in those regions, because we have the eyeballs. We can see the quality of the gameplay and see that the favorite players that you see from these regions, the one that get to go international more often, they don't come out of that region like without sweating. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like something that gets missed for years is that the international representatives, they're maybe the cream of the crop from that region, but you don't see the pressure that formed them into the diamonds they are, right? And that's the rest of the players in that region doing that. And I feel like we've been seeing a lot of those players in this region. So France, I was looking back at the history, man, they have so many good players, and a lot of players in this bracket. People like Junior Leo has been rocking Ken for a long time. He's been doing work in CPT for a while, and also I look back, I was reminded Red Bull Kumite LCQ qualifier from 2018 doing work there. People like Link Exelo, who's been rocking Nikali and Ibuki, always a threat in these brackets.
Speaking of players that over the years have been godlike, I would be remiss not to bring up my brother, Akainu. People don't really talk about Gao these days, man. But I'll tell you what, when you got skill like that guy right there, I remember back when, was it 2018 when he had a monster year?
Yeah, 2018.
Akainu, his Gao, the neutral game is just so ridiculous. I feel like he's one of the most confident players. And then outside of that, I think that Gao has always done well against a character like Mika, who he's going to have to deal with when it comes to going up against someone like Luffy.
And yeah, you're right. He had some of the most electrifying sets, especially in the first CPT event. He's one who put Mr. Crimson in losers. Mr. Crimson won that event through losers. And then he lost 3-2 to Luffy. And I think we even did a set breakdown. That was one of the wildest sets of the CPT. And then don't forget, in the second event for this region, he got second to Killzoo. I feel like Akainu is that guy who like kind of silently does work, but like
he's dropping a solid 60 points a game right now or something like that.
Right. Like, if you look at the stats, he's easily one of the top in this region. Like he has to be in the conversation. I think he hasn't had that win yet. That's the problem. Like he's had more consistent results over the lifespan of Street Fighter V than someone like Killzoo, who's a younger player, kind of newer to competing at this level. But he just hasn't had that win yet. And I think Akainu is definitely looking to make his mark.
That can be beneficial, man. When it's quiet and people might not be thinking about you as much, you might go into here prepping so hard for Killzoo and Mr. Crimson and Luffy, and yet this godlike player is sneaking right up under the radar. But of course, someone who's not going to sneak up under the radar at all is, as you said, Evo champion Luffy. He's the player who I'm expecting a whole lot from. I think you said that he got a second place and a third place last year. So, I mean, Luffy is... It goes without saying, that's a legend, a fighting game, Street Fighter legend, throughout the titles. you know, Evo champ, and even as far as Capcom Cups, he's qualified for every single Capcom Cup prior to last year.
Even 2020, he found his way in when he got voted in. He won the entire vote-in process.
You're
you know
right.
what I mean? He's a legend in more ways than one. Like, you know, that streak was a hot streak for a while, and you know, and I'm happy to see the new players qualify, or the newer players qualify in 2021. But part of me is a little like, oh man, it would have been cool for Luffy to have a perfect attendance record for all of the modern Street Fighters.
Undertaker losing at WrestleMania. It's like, man, like,
right.
Did it really have to happen? But you know,
I'll take your word for that one,
bro. How don't you know? You don't know about that?
Listen, I'm a nerd, and
Brian,
all I did was sit around and play video games. I'm sorry, man. You know how much anime and wrestling I had to learn after joining the FGC. You guys have kept me on my toes. I'll tell you that. I've learned about Undertaker and his history since joining to keep up with these references.
Good. You're becoming a better person.
Thank you. I appreciate you expanding my horizons here with the world of professional wrestling. But just like expanding our horizons, you know, there's another community I want to shout out, the Spanish community. They're trying to expand their horizons and get a player into Capcom Cup, because I was trying to figure out, you know, what are the people to look out for, not just from France, because I feel like they've had a big spotlight on them. I hit up Vega Patch, who, of course, that's the main guy that we know from Spain, who's been a consistent factor in these CPT finishes and the CPT top 8s. And he's gone very far, but I think he's in both top 8s and doing very well with Vega. He even told me that he's feeling pretty good this season, but he's saying Vega Patch plays Fong. You always get me with a tongue twister with that one. But he's been like one of the most consistent Fong representatives outside of like Mono. He's like for years has been playing Fong, showing up to events and ruining your favorite player's day by, you know, coward crushing them to death. He's feeling good about Fong, but you know, he still says there's some matchups that might not be favorable. So he's also been working on that Jury, because he feels like Jury right now with her positive changes. A lot of people
think Jury's in a great spot.
In a great spot for sure. So I'm interested to see what he brings to the table and like kind of which matchups he goes with this event. He also mentioned a few players, and I want to give a shout out to Froze. He got top 8 at one of the events in number 2 actually. He plays Balrog Honda. And so that's one of the Spanish players. Like, I feel like there's been Spanish players who sneak into that 7th place position besides Vega Patch. I'm curious to see if they can shake up this narrative, because even here, I feel like we talk a bunch about France. I feel like Spain is like on the cusp. They have some notable players. I want to see more of that. So I'm interested to see if any Spanish players can kind of shake up the established order. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I want to see some shakeups here, or even if we see some old favorites take a W, I think this would be a great event either way.
All facts, Brian. And speaking of amazing events, of course, we have 2 more coming up very soon with CPT Midwest and CPT Japan right on the cusp. Make sure you guys sign up as soon as those open up. You can head over to CapcomProTour.com for more details.
Yeah, good call there, Rob. I actually need to do that myself. CPT Midwest coming up. We need to head on over there and sign up as soon as that's available. But enough about us in the Midwest. We're getting into the top 16 here of one of the most electrifying regions we have in the CPT. We have former Evo champions. We have people taking down the biggest players and the biggest talkers in the community. We are getting into the top 16 of the France, Spain, and Portugal CPT. Take it away.
Let's go! After it! Fear my strength! Have a taste of this! Don't take this personal! I'll show no mercy! This is for my fellow hunters!
And welcome to another edition of the Capcom Pro Tour. We are here in 2022 bringing you another fantastic top 16 from the European region. We got France, we got Spain, we got Portugal repping today, and we got Jammers repping today along with me. Back for another week of this commentary action. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. I've finally adjusted to California time, so I get now, because usually when we've done this last year, it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoons. I'm like,
you're good.
I'm
yeah,
ready to go. Now I'm just like, fantastic. It's like, yeah, you got to be here at like 6:30 in the morning. So I'm like, nah, honestly, shouts to the Blue Coast guys for bringing me back here, do some more commentary action for the European region, as well as in the pre-show. Brian F. did allude to, this is one of the most electrifying regions. He's not wrong, because this is the land of Ryus and Alexes. I don't know what gets you guys attracted to these characters. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather you all played Luke.
I can make sense of the tier enthusiasts, the players that are playing good characters, but you guys experimenting out there, they got a little bit of love, those characters. I think they're just trying to really bring them to the forefront, flourish them a little bit.
I'll tell you what, right? Because Logan is never wrong when he said this. He's probably said it to you, but he said it to tons of American players. He said, when you come to Europe, you're going to see the whole roster. You're going to, because we just get Vegas and Dan, Alex and Falcon. It's like everywhere else, it's just like, what are the top 8 characters? That's it. That's crazy.
I feel like that's a little generalized. I feel like East Coast is smart and they pick top tier characters a lot of the time. Here in California, we got like Chris CCH, like they'll play Luke. XSK will play Luke, but we got a lot of funky characters out here too.
I'll give you that.
But we're gonna get to some funky characters and some familiar faces today with the top 16, of course. Want to let everybody know. Let's take a look at the bracket and how it's gonna go down. Kills You and Link Exelo gonna be starting it off. 2 very familiar faces of this region, always entering the Salt Myling and whatnot. Akainu, Vega Patch, Mr. Crimson Jr. Leo, Luffy, and TKR, all the way down the bracket for the winner side. It's looking like familiar faces.
Oh yeah, I think it's just French dominated. Like I said, it's France featuring Vega Patch.
Yeah.
This is what you kind of expect in the winner side of top 16. A couple of these guys had close calls today, but when we get to their respective matches, I'm sure we'll talk about it and kind of dissect that a little bit more. But this is how your winners top 16 is panning out. But if we drop down to the losers bracket real quick and see this is where it gets interesting, because we're going to have for losers top 16 round 1, we're going to have Masky the Beast, a very interesting dance specialist.
Okay.
And I respect him for making it this far with the character. But he's going to have a formidable opponent in Froze from Spain. He got some interesting results last year. Not the best ones, but he did get into, he made it on stream last year. So that's going to be the first game we're going to see in the loser side. Next match we're going to see is another Spanish player, except for Vega Patch and Froze. J Killer, Urian specialist, I believe. He's going to be going up against James 2088. I believe it is another Alex player from this region. And this character got buffed, man, so they're all showing up and they're all doing work. But then if we drop down even further, we're going to see, hopefully I pronounced this right, it's Loix. I believe he plays Honda, another Spanish player. So it's good Spanish representation in the losers bracket. I know it doesn't really make any sense when you say good representation in the losers bracket, but nevertheless, it's good representation. He's going to be going up against Freya 1 May. This guy is sensational with Nash. I don't like the character, but you got to respect the players that are putting in time and effort. So hopefully he can make the distance and make top 8 with Nash Freya. And then last but not least, Valmaster will be going up against Mal Dominant, a Urian player, in an all-French affair. This is going to be a very interesting top 16. Like we said last week with the UK and Ireland CPT, a lot of names I would expect to see, they don't make the cut. And it's bracket, it's first to 2. You're going to have bracket luck. You're going to have to do as much homework as you can. But sometimes you just won't make the cut. Close, but no cigar. But yes, do not forget as well, these guys are going to be playing for a chunk of change. They're not going to get it today, but they're going to be trying to position themselves to be in pole position to get that chunk of change. It's going to be a prize pool of $5,000 for the top 4. Now, 2 of the champions that qualified for their respective CPTs last year, Kills You and Mr. Crimson, they're closer to that than some of the guys in the losers bracket. But do keep an eye out for this. All of the top 4 placements and all the CPTs earn this. It's such a shame because Broski, he came 3rd last week and he said, I was going to treat myself to a PS5, but my exhaust pipe fell off my car.
Oh.
And that's a sign. It's just like, you can't treat yourself just yet. But shout outs to Broski. But
sad.
I mean, is there any match you're looking forward to?
I mean, I'm looking forward to the whole region for sure, but specifically, I mean, I want to see Crimson always at the helm, right? He's always the forefront, the favorite that people want to see. But I'm more interested in seeing how Junior Leo kind of responds to him, right? With the Luke or the Ken, I feel like those are two characters that can kind of oppress Dhalsim in a way, right? And if he could perhaps be on his best day, he could perhaps upset Crimson, right? One of the finest Dhalsims in the business. Of course, he's been rocking the Luke as well. But I also want to see Luffy because I'm hoping for the Rose. I know, like, you know, the Mika is most likely what we're going to get today. We talked a little bit about it beforehand, going up against TKR's Chun-Li. But I still am hoping for the character nonetheless.
I think you might see Rose just for maybe 1 or 2 games this weekend. That's just my hunch. But knowing Luffy and how little time he's had to prepare in stakes for this, because the UK and Ireland CPT, as well as this CPT, they actually didn't have that much time, considering the new update came out the 29th of March, to really get things going for this. So they kind of put all their eggs in one basket, because, like, Luffy, we know him for a Rose player from SF4 and wait for the character to come in 5, and eventually she did. But he's just like, right, Mika's the one I've been playing for like 5+ years. Yeah. This is the one that's qualified me, got me qualified for Capcom Cup. So this is what I'm going to be using to do that. But if he does bring out the Rose, I reckon you might see it tomorrow. Okay. This is a match to be familiar with Mika, so let's see if we go with that. I think me personally, I want to see Vega patch versus Akainu. And I'm very curious. I don't want to put pressure on the guy, but I want to see how Masky the Beast does against Froze's boxer. Is Dan? We don't see that matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a couple of matchups we just don't see here normally, but only in Europe. Exclusivity, baby. It's all here. But yeah, we're going to get the first match rolling right now, which should be, I believe, Kills You versus Link Exelo. Yes. So classic French affair. These guys play each other a fair bit, and as you mentioned before, these guys, you know, they're Salt Mine regulars. Yep. A lot of the people in this bracket are actually Salt Mine regulars. Yeah. But one thing you probably don't see, because I know you've been commentating some of them, is a lot of the French community actually open up a Discord group, and they talk over each other's games. They chat to each other in between rounds. And, you know, they're just like, you know what, okay, try this. You know, why did you do that there? Good stuff from winning. Unlucky loser, you can make it back. So these guys get those Discord calls and go, because they can rarely meet up in person. Yeah. Obviously, things are starting to open up, but they can rarely meet up in person. So what better way to do it than the Gamers Network call us Discord? Funny they called it that when Discord means separation.
You know, that's a good point.
I don't know. Whoever came up whoever came up with that name is a genius. But anyway, right, we've got another player quote ready for you, and I believe it is from Link Exelo. Let's see what he has to say, Ringe.
I'm a fan of Kills You, a young player with a lot of talent and skills, humble and composed. It's rare, but I won't let this kid win again. Wow, and that kind of speaks to what you were already mentioning, right? The camaraderie that we see from the French community, kind of building each other up. And you heard Brian F. maybe mention, or if you watched the pre-show, mention it, that they're just not strong in Street Fighter V, right? They've been pretty much strong in every single fighting game that they've set their mind to. And it's because of that communication and that camaraderie and just building each other up, constantly pointing out each other's weaknesses, making sure that their strengths are on point. And it's just a community that has each other's back. Like, rarely do I see that much commitment from them.
Do you know what's crazy? There's so many things I've learned about the French community over the years, right? If there's a community voting, I'm going to put this in the most diplomatic way possible. Do not mess with Luffy if you say, right, vote me in for the cup. That guy's getting the French Prime Minister behind his back. The rest of you, you're just like on the street, handing out your $1 mixtapes. He's just like, yo, listen, I want to even 2014. You know who I am. Get the whole country behind me.
National hero.
So that's one thing. The second thing is these guys are humble on camera.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
They can talk to each other. Trust me. And also as well, it's like it's their character choices is really interesting. It's kind of mixed between solidity and explosiveness. And that's what you got on the screen. So far, these guys have been using these two characters for today. They haven't used the substitutes because they've got like 1 or 2 other characters there. But it's been Nikali for Link Exelo got buffed, and Karen been normalized.
Normalized, yeah.
Best way to put it. Back throw will do it, but he avoids it. Nice V-shift.
Yeah, trying to avoid that last bit of stun. Ooh, and actually just drained the bit so that Sand Medium Punch didn't get the stun. Having another chance at life. Link activating that V-trigger needs to get the robbery on.
Oh, that was very lucky there because that ground pound unfortunately whiffed, but he's not going to lose just yet here, Link, and he's going to let a reversal off in that situation. He wants the round. He really wants this round to come back, Ringe.
Yeah, and Kills You. I mean, he didn't spin the meter on that combo. Could have probably killed with that. Instead, spinning it now for an activate. Ooh, just kept it nice and compact, safe. Walk up with the stand light kicks. Make sure if he gets flinching, he gets paying.
The thing is, with Kills You, what's exceptional about his Karen, and like all high-level Karens have this, It's their strike throw game. It's the mentality of how their opponent defends against it, because it's the most simplistic thing on the planet, but we just don't want to handle it. We don't want to handle it. So there you go, throw.
Most definitely, and already you can see Link showing that respect for Karen on the ground. So when she dominates, and there you go right there with dive kick, easy landing, frame punish.
Throw, he might go for another one just in case, but this is where Kills You shines. Gonna activate the standing meeting kick and an immediate reversal. These messages from these guys. Yeah, round one. These reversal messages from these guys are very interesting. Uncharacteristic of both of them. I played both of them for a while, and I've seen them play. They wouldn't normally do that, but because Link Exelo did reversal after block stand light kick, no one really does that there unless they're really on their last legs, which he was. And then Kills You reversing right after an activation. Do you know what? I think more people should expect that in tournament. You activate, just wait a little bit, because a reversal coming out right after it, they're thinking, right, I'm going to get my plus frames and just move on and do that. So 1-0 to Kills You right now.
Right, I think that's one of the best spots to put your EX reversal, right? It's not necessarily on wake up, but in block strings where you are expecting them to take advantage no matter what, whether it be with a strike or a throw, right?
All right, cool. So yeah, big shout outs to Capcom for giving us the Street Fighter Duel stage as well. I like it when they customize the stages, or the Ring of Destiny, Ring of Pride, except dual stages there. So shout outs to Capcom for doing that for us.
I'll always be a fan of the Titans on the back with the other, but we got an activation from Kills, or excuse me, from Link. Trying to make this happen again. He's kind of finding himself in the same spot up against Kills You's Karen pretty consistently. Just being dominated on the ground, kind of walk to the corner and being forced to make his way in. And it gets a character like Karen, it's not easy.
Yeah, I think all Link needs is one hit, maybe one jump in. He's trying to get the buffer right now, but he doesn't want to jump to get anti-aired by crouch fears. So this is where it gets a bit difficult. And he's going to suffer from having no V reversal or V shift because he's in trigger. Dash up.
Okay.
Can he get a command grab?
Sometimes all you need is a dash up and a prayer. That's a command grab coming in hot.
I'd block if I were you.
Ooh, and he blocked it out. Nice chase down as well with the EX into the activation, getting the back throw going. Oh, and the raw Rekka's home move.
So if he wasn't buffering a medium punch into disc guidance, there's nothing you really do about that, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's what I'm talking about with Kills You strike throw game. He walks in range and then walks out of it. It's looking bleak for Link Exelo here in the top 16 winner's side.
Most definitely. Has a little bit of a better life situation that he's had in previous rounds, honestly. He's been off to a quick deficit, but what a whip punish on that ground pound.
He can't do that again. If he does that again, he's going to lose. There's 2 bars. Karen's corner combo inconsistency's got fixed.
We got an activation from Lee, and then the bust out again Kills You.
He's trying to grab him again. Oh, no. He risked it. He said the kid's not going to win again. Well, boy, he did, and it's a bit difficult.
Oh, it is 2 out of 3. I forgot. I thought we were going to have another game.
I can't help but feel, Ringe.
Ouch.
He might have had a better shot with Luke. I know this is like kind of the comfortability factor. This is what he's known for. But judging by the results he had last year and probably what was at stake now, just to get into the top 16, I know he knows you play Luke. You guys have discussed this as well. Give it a shot. Maybe he might use Luke in the losers bracket. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I think as the players keep getting better at Street Fighter V, and you know the game has been out for quite some time now, and the level of play is so high that a lot of the time when you're out footsied on the ground like that in like a cutting Nikali type matchup, it's real hard. You got to make big bets and get those bets turning into a huge snowball effect to get that momentum going. I think Luke does have an easier time fighting it out on the ground against Karen. The fireball at least forces her to consider something outside of that range than Nikali. Like, kind of has to commit to ground pound for, and that's a little less good than the Sand Blaster. So I definitely could see the Luke favoring a little bit more in the matchup. Hopefully we see Link get it together in the losers bracket, whether it be with Nikali or the Luke, and of course Kills You advancing the top 8 as we expected him to do.
So what's interesting is, sorry to cut you off there, we spoke to Kills You last year, and he did win the 2nd and final CPT for this respective region, and he did say before the pandemic, if he was able to travel more, he reckons he would have qualified for the Cup. I'm like, okay, you're 20.
Yeah.
We say a lot of stuff when we're in our 20s, but I'm going to hold you to that. And you know what? There's only one shot for these guys. Every region and the CPT online part of it, they've only got one shot.
Yep.
And there's a lot of run-ins here that are like, they're good, strong contenders to win this. So if Kills You could do it again, I'm going to have to shut my mouth because I'm just waiting, because I'm like, Kills You, you told me last year X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
What happened? but he knows what's at stake, and he knows what he's willing to put down on the line. And listen, solid performance, clinical performance there with this Karen to make it into the top 8 tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed, indeed. So next up, we are going to have Akainu versus Vega Patch for our second bout in the winners top 8 qualifying matches. You feel me? Akainu on the Guile, Vega Patch on the Fong or the Jury. We'll see what he brings to the table this time around. But this is the España, the Spain representative here in a sea of French, and we'll see if he can get past the Akainu Guile.
I love it. You said the sea of French players. That's amazing. I would not want to swim in there, believe me. their characters and their choices and playstyles. I don't think you've seen the French defense, have you? You haven't seen that.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh, you're going to be really enjoying that in the losers bracket. But you'll see it. But yeah, these guys have known each other for quite some time. You know, friends, got the camaraderie there. Sorry, my tongue was tied. And it's a case of, right, this is the matchup I'm actually very interested in because Vega Patch has been studying and he has been labbing the Jury. We could see it, but who knows? Enough from me. We'll talk more about this when the match is live. I believe we have another player quote coming from Vega Patch, the man himself. What does it say? Akainu and I know each other very well. Last time he beat me and I didn't like it, but he is a lovable guy. That's such a fighting game quote. Like, yeah, Rich, like, you beat me last time. I love you. Yeah. I can't hate you. It's like, God damn it.
And that's the competitive spirit that I want to see. You know what I mean? When it comes to being in the game, we're trying to qualify for Capcom Cup. There's no friends. There's nothing like that when the game's on, right? But outside the game, like you mentioned, a lot of these community, obviously this is the French versus Spain scenario here. So not quite the camaraderie we're talking about from within the French community. But I think Europe, a lot of the fighting game community in general has come together across the pandemic, has really tried to build each other up. So I like people keeping it intense, knowing that they're fighting for their lives in the game, but outside the game, they can respect the person as a person.
Yeah, for sure. And I know Vega Patch, like we said, he's using Fang and he's using Jury as a secondary. I think the Jury was learned mainly because of Street Fighter League last year, so it's good that he's got another character under his belt. I don't think you can go Fang the whole way from start to finish solo. Akainu has kind of been not necessarily off the grid. He's been playing, but kind of like casually. He's been dabbling with Dalsim, Dan, Poison. He's been like just rotating around the cast, and I think he shows up kind of like when we had Jones Arcade last week. He shows up when the big events are around. Akainu is one of the best players in France, in my personal opinion. And I thought he was going to do this.
Ooh, nice.
I thought he was going to do this. Throw him off to try and get to the top 8. And Jury got some fantastic buffs. And hopefully, Vega Patch can illustrate that to us in this set alone. Because obviously, when she does the light pinwheel kick, the 10-7 rin, it's close in your face, +3 on hit. You get throw and a good mix up there. More combo consistencies, you know. Their neutral game stand medium punches, +3 on block now.
And I think as a character, if you don't have a lot of matchup experience against Jury, she's very funky to fight against. She goes in and out a lot of the time. The rhythm that the players play with is weird, but Akainu's kind of bringing that himself already.
But if you look at Vega Patch's track record, just playing, he's a very elusive guy. And it's like, he wants to be slick, he wants to be evasive. So him picking Jury as the secondary, which I think has better neutral than Fang, that's my personal opinion, is a fantastic pick for him. And it's already working out right now. Back throw will do the trick if he gets close enough, but he's going to wait and get that projectile just in case the boom comes out. But that's what Akainu is looking for. Even if you whiff that, you get caught.
And I like that from Vega Patch. He wasn't too thirsty for the stun. Oh, cutting the V-skill off early.
There it is, that's the round. Yep. He's not afraid to throw out the EX Ryodan Satsu because that is safe on block. It's actually, you can deal with it before it connects because his hitbox is kind of just wide on the ground. So you can have, I think he could do upside down kick against that, but I don't think you're going to see that. I might double check that for my personal information later.
EX, and this time just got caught walking back right there. I like Akainu going for the low right there, knowing that it's safe, but still exposing the legs.
Upside down kick there. Let's see if he can fight about the corner. The fireball almost helped him. Good delay tech there from Akainu. Dash climb sort of the V skill one again. That's been catching him out.
Yeah, definitely Akainu not ready for that. Just getting in his face in a weird way.
He's got Life Lead to work with though, so he's got to be careful of the dash because obviously the dash range increases when Jury's in Feng Shui Alpha.
Ooh, what a counter poke right there. Had the buffer behind it as well.
Oh, that could have been it. That could have been it, Ringe.
That was a nasty meaty fireball, but the back fist instead. You talked about the upside down kick. Comes out with another answer anyway. A lot of damage, leaving Jury on life support.
And another V-shift. He will use those, like, you know, just liberally, Vega Patch. So I think Akainu's got to keep an eye out for that. Maybe upside down could work in that scenario as well, but he can't for another projectile or even a heavy. He's going to wait it out. Yeah, we got 30 seconds. Get comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. Akainu knows, right? He's not even going to risk the fireball. No need to. Just waits out the V-skill. Punishes in kind. Good stuff.
I think what's interesting as well, because he's still in the phases of trying to make this second nature, secondary character. He's going to be ants in a lot of situations where he doesn't need to be. So people at home, pay attention to how Vega Patch plays when he's got the life lead as opposed to when he doesn't have it, and what resources he's spending, because this character's all based on resources and the money in the bank.
Look at what she's got playing right now, spinning some of the stocks. Ooh, I'm going to cash out entirely. That's going to be a healthy life lead.
And that means, if a boom comes out, he can do the V-skill 1 again if he gets close. But the dash cancel V-skills have been working off exceptionally there for Vega Patch at the moment. Good screen control.
And look at that, even that anti-air attempt covered by the fireball and landing. Great stuff from Vega.
See, this is it, right? Life lead, no EX meter, only got the stocks to work with. Then medium and heavy stock are only going to come out if he gets that medium kick buff or even the crouching medium punch.
Beautiful.
Nice combo.
Yeah, and Vega Patch cashing out all the stocks at this point. And you see, I love him not immediately stocking up, right? Knowing that Akainu's trying to overwhelm him, take away that space. So he's just waiting to try to cut him off on the incoming. Oh, and then catching him before he landing with a dash of anti-air. Vega Patch with the jury.
So far, so good. Putting in that work, and obviously we're seeing the fruits of his training pay off. This is kind of what I wanted Link to do to Kills You.
Okay.
Pick the other character, first to 2 environment, throw them off guard. Because I think Akainu was aware Vega Patch was playing jury. I don't think he was expecting him here. And this is what I was saying last week, right? They got 2 characters. You lab fang, but you study jury. You don't get caught off guard. And the biggest things that have been a threat, and this is part of jury's gameplay in general, right, is the fireball and the V-skill 1. When you have those stocked, it's skedaddle, scoodoodle all over again. Because it now can't do much, but ignore what I just said, because Akainu's having a good time in the corner here. One throw will do it, and he tried.
The corner is the great equalizer, right? All those things that we talked about in neutral, a lot of the time get nullified once your back is up against the wall.
Nice neutral jump.
Stuck on Akainu, he's keeping it jailed in the corner. No parole for jury. Let's go to the next round.
I think he tried to jump out there, and that situation is very interesting because Gao can walk up throw, or he can get a meaty crouch light punch into the boom and get the combo to the sweep, which is exactly what we saw there from Akainu. He's got a lot of resources to work with right now, Rinch, so let's see how he explodes the meter.
Ooh, the EX response at the very end there. I mean, it did cut off that dash V-skill cancel that Vega Patch has been looking for a lot.
This might be very adventurous of me to say this. Let's see it pans out, though. I'm going to mention it if it goes to another game. Okay. Oh, no, he didn't want that. He wanted to chase a backdash. Yeah, he wanted to chase a backdash or a V-shift. Akainu's not panicking in this situation.
Yeah, didn't give it to either option. Does bring out the V-shift now after the activation. Vega Patch, slight lead, and Akainu betting big on the EX flash kick, but no, sir.
I don't think he needs to do that there. Right. There's another thing I've just had a theory of in this matchup. If the fireball comes out, he's been jumping back. That's what people naturally do against projectiles that slow moving. I think he should try an upside down kick. I think he'll go over it. There's a lot of moves that will go over that fireball, but again, I don't think Akainu just knows this. This is, to me, backseat gaming again.
All right, crush counter sweep. Oh, actually whipped that stand light kick, caught him flinching because of it.
Meaty, if he gets a flip, he's stunned, Rinch.
Oh, it's in the cross up. That was so sick. Mans was not protecting his neck. Vega Patch put him on life support. Akainu still living. And again, Vega Patch not thirsty for the kill, right? Just takes that space back, gets the stocks up, changing up that jury rhythm, and puts himself in top 8.
Yeah, that was a efficient performance there from his secondary. Work in progress is coming ever so closer to a deadly substitute character. And I gotta say, what a pick for Vega Patch there. He will be in the top 8 going up against Kills You tomorrow. Fantastic stuff. The element of surprise came into play here. Unfamiliarity. Anything you think of that can catch Akainu off guard, it pretty much worked. 110%. Good stuff there from Vega Patch.
And yeah, that's something you got to consider in a 2 out of 3 environment, especially, right? Giving your opponent less games to adjust to something they're unfamiliar with is a very effective strategy. So good stuff to Vega Patch, really bringing it out right there. We saw that was a sick moment where he actually caught out the EX flip kick, but nonetheless, not enough in the playbook to really counter everything that Jury was bringing to the table.
Yeah, I'd have to double check with players and my own notes regarding the numbers and how people respective characters feel about this matchup in general. But there was a couple of things I did learn along the way, because in this region, especially I feel as part of the European region, there's going to be a plethora of characters and matchups that you rarely see. Maybe 1 or 2 on the odd occasion for ranked, but other than that, again, I think what it was, the fireball was too dominant for Akainu. The B skill caught him off guard in numerous situations, but it's how many anti-projectile tools Juri has now at her disposal that are prevalent. That was really keeping him on his toes there. And again, you saw the EX flash kick. I personally think there's no right or wrong time to do an EX reversal, but I felt, considering the situation, I think just he capitulated and it got to him there, which is unfortunate. But Akainu is down, but he's not out, so he could still make the top 8 because he's been pretty consistent in these CPTs in this region, France, Spain, Portugal. But we've got to be moving on because our next match is another one of the favorites, another one of the guys who qualified for this CPT last year. He won the first one because he won the first one and he didn't enter the second one. And that's the one that kills you one.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting. Yes, but it is Le Crimson, Mr. Crimson, Red Bull Kumite, London champion. One of the best players in France. You could argue he is the best player in France now. Because again, Luffy's been that kind of, he's had that title for quite some time. But ever since, you know, Mr. Crimson had more time to practice the game, focus on it, change over to PC. He's had more fun, traveled around. He's been doing quite a bit with the game now, and he's been doing more content, streaming, showing people the defensive side of Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot to make sure people improve, and it's just been great to see. I don't know if you caught any of his personal streams.
Sometimes from here and there.
But you know what? He's a great guy, and it's like you said, you can't hate him. You can hate his character. You can't hate Crimson. But I don't know how you feel about this next one. Junior Leo, do you think he's going to go with the Luke? Do you think he's going with the Ken?
Oh, man. I want to see the Ken to start off, to be honest with you. I just want to see if he's going to be able to overwhelm the Dhalsim out the gate. I know that's going to be tough to do up against Mr. Crimson. As you mentioned, one of the best players in the game at utilizing every single defensive option there is, right? Whether it be the V-shift, the backdash, whether it be like waking up with the EX Gale on wake up, you know what I mean, something to put him airborne. He just has everything, and he cycles through them so effectively. So I think it can be tough, and maybe you want to go with a more stable ground game in the Luke to try to fight it out. But either way, Junior Leo's going to have a tough time, but I do want to see the Ken first.
We'll see what happens. So me, and just to give you guys an inside story of what happened backstage before we went live. So if you didn't check out CFN prior this, I got my laptop on, turned on the game, and there's a couple of matches I had to check out before we went live. Me and Rinj were watching a match that could have went south if Mr. Crimson wasn't the man he is. I want to say a personal shout out to Rock Shooter because you did give Mr. Crimson a bit of a scare because both of these guys had a couple of close calls on the way here. Rock Shooter and Loix, they lost 2-1 to Mr. Crimson, and I believe Junior Leo, a Falk player called Nineru and Ozen, they lost 2-1 to Junior Leo. So both these guys might be a little bit on edge, but the guy who played Alex, Rock Shooter, I was watching him and I was like, damn, Mr. Crimson, you could have lost to this guy. But lo and behold, Alex players, they have this kind of mechanism that activates at a certain point. And I think that's what gave it away for Rock Shooter. But that was unfortunate. But yeah, you know what? Let's kick it off with this match here. It will be the Luke indeed. Now, Luke is, of course, Mr. Crimson's substitute character. He's been putting a lot of work into him as well, just obviously for this year and future events. And let's see if he's very good at handling it, because this is the matchup I think the general consensus is this might be the hardest one for Luke. There's contenders.
Really? Okay.
There's been contenders that make it difficult in certain aspects, but people have been saying this might be the hardest one for Luke. So I want to see this put to the test.
And bro, like the first Sandblaster that comes out, Crimson showing that he's going to react to it with slide right under. That's a tough thing to deal with already.
Right now, it's got the life lead. You might see EX Avenger, the running tackle, because it's got armor. You might see that in preemptiveness for the limbs. But I think Mr. Crimson will try and bait that. We'll see.
You see Crimson very slide happy, especially with that V-trigger behind him at this point.
Look at that. The braid damage racking up from the fire there. He's in V-trigger 1. But again, the screen control he has, and he felt the need to jump.
Yeah, exactly right. I like that you read up like that. Felt the need to jump. He wanted to make something happen. He had already been so oppressed in this round. Such a big life deficit that instead of kind of, even with a lot of time on the clock, waiting and utilizing the Sandblaster, that V-trigger, considering Crimson has already shown multiple ways around it, the slide, the Gale, like, he was like, I gotta jump. I gotta make something happen. I gotta go offensive.
As a Luke player, oh, I'm not a Luke player. I don't want to be one. But as a Luke player, you have to realize people are prioritizing your projectile over everything else. Yeah. And when they show you that, you have to play a different game. We said that I'll slug it out. And that's what Mr. Crimson done right there. Got him in the corner. Good check with the target combo. Can activate.
You're trying to make something happen here. You see Crimson not flinching and then brings out the slide at the perfect moment as soon as he gets some space back.
He's burning too much. The sniper will do it. Oh, he tried.
Oh, he did. Right back at you. Your first one missed. He just looked around like, what was that noise? And hit him with the headshot afterwards. Good stuff to Crimson 1-0. And yeah, I mean, when we talk about prioritizing the fireball as the person playing against Luke, I think that opens up a lot of Luke's game because he has those forward advancing normals, right? The stand medium punch, the stand jab. A lot of the time when your opponent's going to respect that fireball range, they're giving you an opportunity to move forward with an active hitbox with one of those buttons. So hopefully we see a little bit more from that from Junior Leo here in the second game.
I probably want to see him use sweep.
That was nice.
Damn, he didn't let me finish my sentence. I think sweep would be pretty effective against stand medium kick and stand hard punch, the crush counter, which is a new crush counter. So Dalsim. Obviously, like Luke, get normalized as well. He's still strong. I think Junior Leo is a bit worried about using V-Trigger 1 as a threat because he hasn't got the life lead and he can just wait there, wait for something to whip and do projectile, but he's in right now.
On reach, okay. Yeah, respecting now on the plus frames.
All right, gets a punish on that poorly spaced dive kick there, Ringe, and he's trying to get a frame trap, but it's not working. If he just waits here, back throw. He's going to burn. Yeah, listen, you are going to... Oh, he's not dead yet. But if he can get a straight EX Sandblaster, just an EX projectile, that's all you need.
Yeah. Risky, though, and Crimson using EX projectile of his own.
Wait for it. It might come. Not a sniper.
Oh, no. He saw Junior Leo had the right idea, pressed the button after blocking the sniper, but didn't actually kill Mr. Crimson. And Crimson relying on the slide. All reliable indeed.
Yeah, do you know what's crazy? Junior Leo hasn't actually landed the full combo this entire set. He hasn't landed the full combo. He's been hitting him, but he's been having to activate V-Trigger and really utilize the projectiles. But Mr. Crimson, more than comfortable dealing with those. Another check with the jab into target combo, though.
Okay, activate raw. Ooh, trying to charge it up big for the plus frame.
I respect the flash knuckle attempt. He might lose. He hasn't got CA because I know Crimson buffered that. If you jump, you are dead. He actually can use CA from here. Yeah, that's it. That might be it.
Yeah, I don't know how Junior Leo gets past this.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
good jump back.
Good
jump back. Avenger. If he can dash up throw, he might get Crimson. Oh, no. Okay, do you know what? That's crazy. That's how you know I can't beat Crimson either. That's how you know I can't beat Crimson either. But Mr. Crimson makes that look like light work, taking that 2-0 against Junior Leo there. Pretty much stumped from start to finish. I think he used almost every special Luke has under the sun. I just don't think he found that rhythm. I don't think we really saw a full combo. I think personally I knew where things were going shaky was he didn't really challenge Dalsim's dive kick with maybe a crouch jab or maybe a light rising rocket, something like that. It was a bit rough. And again, the French contingent continue to kind of stay solid and get these 2-0 victories over their fellow brethren, or, you know, Vega patch is the only one defying that. But unlucky to Junior Leo, he's still in the tournament. He's a very good player. Like I said, he's kind of similar to Akainu for me. I don't know how active he's been. He's been playing the game, but in competitive play, not as much as you'd like to see him in terms of like CPT, a couple of features in the Salt Mine League. But yeah, pretty much stumped from start to finish.
Yeah, I think Mr. Crimson made Luke look immortal, right? And I think not only because of the matchup that Dalsim seems to do decently well up against Luke, but because he's been playing Luke himself and he just knew everything in the playbook. Like immediately countering the Sandblaster with slide and gales and just like staying perfectly outside of that range. You were like, if he can get an EX Sandblaster, and he was just like galing right above it as soon as that happened, right? Like he just knows the matchup so well already. And that's one of the big strengths of Mr. Crimson, I think, is his ability to absorb information and apply it at a high level very quickly. He's one of the best in the game at it. So big ups to Mr. Crimson, of course, and big ups to everybody that has been watching and all of our sponsors that make this happen. All of our lovely CPT supporters, including that Street Fighter Duel, baby. You know how Street Fighter Duel gets down. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China with a global version coming soon. Fight along Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken against the Suzaku Castle, further into the Shadowloo City, explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters, and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Your Street Legend is now back on track. Various fighting styles, counters, stuns, combos, supers, an impressive array of fighting elements, and the associated combos offer you a new battle experience, challenging your combat skill. The Epic Legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
I like that. he didn't stutter one bit. I got to learn from you because I stutter all the time. But you know what? I can't help but feel that a lot of people at home, they're just going to recognize us. And they go, hey, you're that Street Fighter duel dude. I was just like, yeah, okay, that's how you want to.
I'm down for that.
If that's where you want to remember us, so be it. Anyway, in that time, we are going to take a short 5-minute esports break. And when we come back, there is going to be more action here from France, Spain, and Portugal's top 16 CPT. See you in a bit.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
So, you really want to go through the trouble? Fine. All clear! Easy mode too much? Sucks to be you. I'm always ready for a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and thank you very much for joining us for this weekend CPT, France, Spain and Portugal, but obviously I like to call it the French mixtape featuring Vega patch, but that's not the case just yet. We're still in the top 16. There's good Spanish representation. Obviously, of course, bonjour, obviously here for French viewers, and I think it's bonsoir over there. I don't know any Spanish. Do you know any Spanish?
Don't call my fake Mexicanness out. I don't know any Spanish.
I don't know. I had to ask. I'd like to make everyone inclusive, you know?
What? Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna do anything. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I embarrass myself enough as it is. Let's not keep it going.
He thought about it for a second. He said, "You know what? No, I know what you did there, Jammers. You're not throwing me on the bus today." But what we can do is I will throw him under the bus when it comes to looking at the brackets, because up next we have already just to let you guys know, 3 matches have already transpired today. 2-0s so far. Kills You and Vega Patch will be the first match of top 8 tomorrow. Mr. Crimson awaits his opponent of the next match we're going to be going to, which is the last match of winners top 16. Luffy going up against TKR. And we will drop down to the losers bracket very shortly. Well, depending on how much time Luffy has and depending how aggressive TKR wants to be today. We're still in first of 2 territory, so to let you guys know, again, these guys are Frenchmen. They've played in multiple tournaments, featured in the Gfinity League. But here's the thing, right? So, for those of you who don't know, Luffy had to beat Valmaster right before this set.
Oh, okay.
And it was 2-1. Those guys go way back as a rivalry. I don't care what game it is. I don't care what characters they're playing. They kind of have a similar philosophy in terms of being able to have that rally of adaptation against each other, which is very good. So, Valmaster is in the top 16, but you'll see him later. Now he's got to fight another Chun-Li, the other Premier Chun-Li, because when it comes to Chun-Li players in Europe, Valmaster and TKR. Those are the 2 names that should be coming out of your mouths. We have 1 or 2 elsewhere, but it's like no one's fully committed to the character as much as those 2. Styles are different, but we'll see how it goes. Also, fun fact for you, TKR hasn't dropped a game today.
Ooh, not a single game.
Not a single game. It's all been 2-0s. The worst part about it is I don't think you kind of want that run before fighting Luffy.
Yeah, right? I'm kind of along the similar thought process. That Luffy is the man. What?
I mean, look at his face. Don't you love his face, TK? Don't you love that face, Rinch? Look at that. That's a face everybody needs. Listen, I like it because if he had to send that picture right before the top 16, when he said, "Oh, you're fighting Luffy," I reckon he did a quick selfie. Do you know what I implore people to do? Because I know I think they mentioned TKR in the pre-show, Brian F. and Rob TV. You need to find this guy's intro or interview, the Gfinity 2018. Okay. I promise you'll not be disappointed. Okay. This guy he needs his own show. He needs his own TV show.
All right, I'm going to have to do some research on my man TKR and the showmanship that he's going to bring to the table.
Hey, listen, he's one commodity for the French scene, but the other one, Luffy, no introduction needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of worried because if I said, if I needed voting, I'm calling him. I'm calling him.
Can you get your people on my campaign? Because I know I'm locked in if that's the case.
Dude, because when that happened live, right, you're just looking at the voting system and you're like, there's no way he's going to do it. It's like, you're just like Tokido, Problem X, and then all of a sudden these votes just came flushing in. Oh, yeah. And then you see a French Prime Minister tweet and it's like, what the hell did he do? It's crazy. And this is it, right? It's how much the French scene support people and they're kind of their figureheads, their 100%. Icons, right? And again, despite how you think he plays this game like a nutcase, he calls it genius. He calls it genius. We'll call it calculated genius. That was brilliant. But again, if he can kind of smother TKO with that style, it's going to be great, Rich.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's a fine line between madness and genius, right? And I think walking that line leads to great success in fighting games. You don't want your opponent to know everything that you're going to do. You don't want to be that robot that just comes up with optimal decision after optimal decision. Throwing your opponent off will definitely make them second guess what they're doing.
That's
a clean punish right here.
Oh, no, do you know what? Knowing Luffy, he thinks you're going to stun him, and then he just does something else to stun you. He does the least expected thing to try and stun you. I don't think we're going to see another jump from Luffy just yet. He's going to do classic Luffy. If he can get maybe a dash up grab, that is +1 on block now. So Chun-Li her tools got adjusted. I don't think she really, obviously she got some buffs. She got toned down areas, but I don't think she really moved. Okay. Some people think she's a top 5 character. Dash up Brimstone. This is guess for the game, and TKL's got EX spin and butt kick. Trying to run away.
Oh, yeah, maybe holding up in that situation. Either way, Luffy just harassing with the slaps, the stand jabs, eventually bringing the giant swing back round.
What's very good about Luffy's Mika is he's very good at getting in your head
Yes.
It's like you think Mika is not that great anymore. She got some fantastic buffs, good changes to help with her neutral game and conversions in general. It's how Luffy gets in your head. His mind games are some of the best in the Street Fighter business. I'm telling you, look what he's doing.
Oh, man.
Well, you almost had him.
Yeah, and I'm also surprised TKR is still ready with the jump out there. Luffy kind of going to that same well where he's keeping him locked down on the ground before the command throw. TKR well aware in that situation.
I can't remember if these two played last year at this stage or in the top 8. I remember. And that's going to be EX Rainbow Typhoon, not the round yet. Knowing Luffy might double dash and do it again. Oh, he done one.
Yeah. I thought we were going to see another get real frisky, but instead TKR, nice confirm off the low medium kick.
Watch out for wake up jab. Oh, nice delay. He was looking for it as well. Is he going to spend all the resources, Ringe?
Oh, V-ship, but it still gets punished. Beautiful stuff from TKR right there, not letting Luffy escape.
All right, there you go. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. You got to take the fight to Luffy. Remember, it's kind of, you know, gambling versus solidity. That was punishable. Wow. This is not looking good. He might try to do EX spinning bird kick to bust out because the first one didn't work. He woke up grab.
Reaching. There it is. Back to the well with the EX spinning bird kick, this time paying off. Wow, the slide wrist with no V-trigger going to cancel into.
Regular grab. Watch out for the medium punch. There it is. That's a good button. Forward medium punch to stop Mika's stand medium punch because only -2. And the pushback is really good and hard for a lot of characters to deal with, but not Chun-Li.
Yeah, and Chun-Li gets left at that optimal range, really. She's going to start dominating the ground after that block when even at a negative frame advantage.
Good throw break there. Go back to the neutral. Considerable life lead here for Luffy to work with. Anything that's punishable on block, that might be a CA. But he's got to be careful of the range because he's not trapped in the corner there, Luffy.
This time canceling, but Luffy still checking, not letting Chun-Li get close enough to really start a big offensive game.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, neutral jump and actually does get the punish. I was scared that it was going to be a little bit too late.
Trying to bait a throw. He has to block. Oh, he got clipped, unfortunately, there. Ringe, the Deshko caught him in a huge amount of hit stun. I think he tried to run away afterwards, but because of the frame advantage, it kept him grounded. Got that nice, straightforward hit confirm with the stand medium punch into EX Shooting Peach, one of the hardest hit confirms in the game.
And, you know, the way that whole played out at the end right there, right, it was a very unfamiliar situation to be in. Despite both of these characters being in the game since launch, you don't see a lot of the time where the fireball trades at the same time the Deshko hits. So TKR just unfamiliar with what he was able to do afterwards, and got caught slipping.
For sure. Couldn't have said it better myself. Legit, though, wake up the Deshko is an option.
Yeah.
As a defensive option.
Yeah.
People have been doing it since Season 1, so people got to be careful of that. Gets the crouch fierce, good punish. Full combo into light spinning bird kick. One throw will do it. There you go. And this is it. One of the reasons I like TKR going up against Luffy, like matchup-wise, is he doesn't like Mika, but he's not deterred by what Luffy does. Like I said, Luffy's very good with mind games, and a lot of people kind of fall victim and kind of play to his tune. Yeah. And it's just like, right, it's a synchronized dance where he's the puppeteer, right? But right now.
And I think that command grab aspect of Mika, that really helps contribute to that fear, that intimidation, right? And TKR does not seem to be hampered by that. Does wake up with the jump, but
here comes the stun. Oh, he cracked. This is the thing.
Man.
Sometimes you'll do the work for him. You're just like, oh, I know I'm stunned. He's like, I know you know you're nearly stunned. And it's like, if you want to do something, you can do that if you want. That's the thing. And even if he jumped, he's in trouble. If you press the button, he's in trouble. Yeah. It's the guessing game behind Mika, and he'll tell you she's bottom 5.
Yeah.
He'll keep telling you that dream.
And that's the thing with the stun being high like that. I think that's usually a high frequency or a high usage of EX reversal by players at top level. And you can see that's why I think TKR switched it up that time, right? Right when Luffy first started getting offense, and again, low stun still really just bust down with the SBKs, but he can't turn that into anything offensive.
Crush counter. Can he build a V-meet in time for Trigger? He's going to activate off of Hazanshu. He needs a couple of grabs here, maybe a medium or a fierce hit into a dream. Please watch out for the super. You have to play this right.
Oh, very good stuff. The tick throw setup off the crouch light kick. Did challenge.
I think that's +1 or 0. But because of the situation, frame data kind of just goes out the window there. Yeah. A tick throw is a tick throw at the end of the day, but you wouldn't want to risk it there, especially with how TKR's been playing. But again, this is why I like him as a player going up against Luffy. He's been working out so far. Again, spinning bird kick has come out a lot more often than when I watched the Valmaster set they had. But I think both of them are going to crank it up a notch in this last set here. Gets the drop kick to the target combo, ending with heavy shoot Peach.
Oh,
I saw that double dash.
Yeah, Luffy chasing down.
No punish on that.
This is big for TKR. Going to give him some breathing room, but no, just like that whiffs.
You almost got him. That is like -2 or something. It's got a lot of active frames and well-spaced shooting peaches. It will mess up people's punishes.
Now TKR does have an EX here, but yeah, I figured not gonna spin that immediately, but you block that +3. Luffy walks back and then walks back in to the throw range, setting up for set point.
All right, this is not looking good. Couldn't use V-Trigger that round. Potentially on his last legs here to put him in the loser's bracket, TKR. And that's where the other Chun-Li is, Valmaster. Let's see if we can take this to a final round, Ringe.
Yeah, Luffy looking to close this out before giving TKR that chance. Beautiful counter poke right there. Had the buffer behind it.
That's one of the new buffs that Mika got, right? The crouching medium kick, special cancelable now. Very interesting. Gets that tick grab into Rainbow Typhoon, and he tried to jump out. Didn't work out.
The peach, the meaty cheeks. Inescapable.
No! He thought he was close enough, but it's going to be a punish in EX shooting peach, and this is where he's going to roll around, but he had to break out. With spinning bird kick again. Can he dash up throw?
The dash go delayed this time. Oh, and this is keeping it compact with a frame trap.
He done it again. You are a madman. That's why I love you. He doesn't care. He knows he has to do that to get out and be able to play the game, but Luffy's not going to press a damn button unless it's a counter poke.
Yeah, fighting for his life at this point. Trying to stay alive, but Luffy walking back, knowing that TKR has to come to him. Oh, tried to charge a drop kick, but got caught. Well done.
He was walking himself to the corner, probably trying to catch TK off guard, but the combination of the walk speed and potent buttons, it caught him off guard. Final round there. I'm going to do a shoulda, woulda, coulda after this game is done. Double dash. Anti-air with the back hard kick. Discipline. That was discipline.
Yeah. Great adjustment too. Luffy had been harassing with that neutral jump pressure, but we talked about discipline trying to charge or trying to challenge the charge drop kick.
Watch out for V-shift. It might come. Not quite. It's blocking those mediums. Get sweep activate. It's going to be a grab probably. Yeah. Hard knockdown. Is he going to go for another grab? I would.
Yeah, TKR busted out with the SBK. The triple dash back in. Has a V-trigger to activate on his own.
He needs a hit.
Ooh, right past. That was so good from Luffy. The non-charge drop kick, immediate command grab after the hit. Puts himself in top 8 winners.
And legit, the stand light kick might have been too far, but even if you don't get the combo, it's actually a frame trap, which makes that command grab legit. And because, again, psychologically, I got hit, Luffy finish a target combo, and I'll take the guess for game scenario. Lo and behold, this is what makes Luffy one of the best, if not the best Mika in the world. He knows when a reset, or he'll tell you the definition of a reset. It's not supposed to come when you expect it.
Yep.
That's it. He'll purposely drop combos because Mika's all about landing those grabs. Now, I'd probably say the biggest thing that happened in this set was the amount of EX spinning bird kicks that were let off. And this is the lack of, deterring like TKI in that situation, not phased by what Luffy's doing. This is someone who's faced Luffy for a while despite the scoreline. Took it down to the wire. There's one situation where we played on borrowed time where Luffy was walking himself to the corner and he had meter and TKI was using the fireballs. If he done EX peach on reaction, that would have won the game there. But Luffy, he loves his style. He knows what to do there. I would have liked to see a first of 3 with these two. It would have been really good to see.
Most definitely. And I think, when it comes to the walkback thing where Luffy got caught slipping in that one route, I think that's something that even high-level players fall victim to, and that's that kind of falling back on your lead a little bit too hard, right? You're giving up a lot of space. You don't really cut off the opponent just because you feel comfortable and like, they have to come to me. There's not a lot of time left. And a lot of the time, I think that kind of takes players out of how they play at their most comfortable. And because of that, that kind of throws them off from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. So, sorry to cut you off there again. This is how the top 8 is looking right now for the winner side. Kills You versus Vega Patch. That's going to be a round 1 in the top 8. And of course, the other side of winner side, top 8, is going to be Mr. Crimson going up against Luffy. Now, we saw this in the losers bracket with Hurricane and Infectious. So, a lot of the guys, those two, you've done everybody else in this bracket a big favor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You've done everyone else in this bracket a big favor. These are some of the most consistent guys. You're looking at the 2 champions from last year's CPT, as well as, 2nd and 3rd place, as well as 4th place here. So these guys are some of the favorites,
the cream of the
this
crop
weekend. So please keep an eye out for these players, not just today or tomorrow, just in general. If they're not on your radar, make a note of it, man. These are some of the best guys we have in the European region. So keep an eye out for them. But let's drop down to the losers bracket, please. What we got next, Ringe?
Yes, most definitely. We got Masky versus Froze, I believe that's how you say it.
Yeah, I say Froze.
Froze. Against Masky, who is representing the Dan, right? And Froze on the Balrog or the Honda. We'll see what they're going to bring to the table. But of course, after that, we got J Killer versus James, Loix versus How did you say that? It was Freya?
Freya 1 May.
Freya 1 May. Gotcha.
I think that's it.
And Valmaster versus Male Dominated, of course. This is going to be a hell of a losers bracket round 1. And all just to get to round 2 for those top 8 qualifying matches, right? So it's going to be a brutal time down here. But I believe we do have Masky versus Froze, the head-to-head graphic, going to be coming up soon. I mean, with the Den, I know that's what everybody wants to see, right? It's a fan favorite. Up against Balrog and Honda, though, I feel like that's kind of tough.
So, Froze came 9th in the first CPT last year and then the 5th in the second one. So he's floated around and within the top 8. He's more than capable of being another representative from Spain. He might be a top 5 there. But his opponent, well, honestly, I'd kind of ignore who my opponent would be if I was playing Boxer. I would, because I'm like, well, okay. But I see Dan as a huge knowledge check. If you don't know what he's doing, he's going to get you. Frame traps, crush counters, if you're using the taunt cancels. The V system beats him. V reversal and V shift, but people don't want to let that go. Depends on how your neutral game works out. I really am curious to see how Masky the Beast will deal with dash straight in general, because Dan's limbs are not the greatest, but when he hits you, puts you in the corner, you're going to be convinced he is your worst matchup when he really isn't. But this is going to be an interesting one to see nevertheless. Please keep an eye out for Masky the Beast as well as a Dan player, because we don't have many of those, and it is a treat to watch. But I believe we have a player quote ready, so let me see what we've got here. So, wow. Do you know what you could have done? You could have done, you can see ya. Just give us some sound. Don't just with Dan, see ya. You know, is that
that's not even top 5? How many is that? That's like top 8 of the whole rappers, bro.
So does that? Oh, do you know what? I think he's gonna do a mixtape.
All Dan.
Dan.
Only Dans?
Maybe. Oh, don't do that, please. Someone's called themselves out on CFN. Someone's done that. Someone has done that. Shouts to Ixie, and he has called himself that. I mean, listen. Listen.
Disappointment in your voice.
Please don't, because you're just going to encourage people at home. It's like, damn, where can I sub? Tier 1? Tier 3? It's his fault. Anyway, we're going to get this match lined up. Hey, listen, you can go nuts with these names, right? But, again, Dan's stun output is not the greatest, whereas Balrog's damage output and stun output are pretty interesting. I think Dan's, I need to double check this on my app for the FAT. Shouts to the guys that put the frame data apps together. I think Dan's 950 health, 1000 stun.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but again, you're going to see a lot of buffers, trying to get in range for the taunt cancels. Another knowledge check as well will be, how does Froze space himself against Dan's hard kick? Because you can technically jump that before it comes out.
Okay.
You stand outside of its range. So I think there's going to be a lot of frustration on both ends, but for different reasons.
Absolutely, for sure. I think Masky can do whatever he can to try to get in that range where you said, like the V skill, that stuff you can start abusing a little bit. He's going with V-Trigger 1 as well. Interesting. Okay.
That projectile for V-Trigger 1 is actually better than a lot of people think. Okay. They did buff it.
Yeah.
I think frame advantage and block is different. I think the effect on hit is different. I could be wrong about that. I lack a lot of knowledge on his V-Trigger 1, but it's a projectile at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't think KKB is going to go through it as well as you think. I need to see.
Okay, we shall see. But right there, perfect spacing for Masky, kind of baiting him into using that V-skill past the fireball. Punishing, but hold right back at you with punish with the buffer on the punch behind it.
Oh, trying to get a dash check there. And again, because it's a 1-bar trigger, you have to just see it as an extension, an extended special. I don't see that as a trigger. I see it as another special.
Yeah, and he used it as soon as he got it. Perfect spacing on that. Giving him a follow-up on the Tatsu.
Back throw will do it. And he tried. I'll do a dash straight, but he doesn't need to. Taunt cancel pressure. Here it comes.
Wood, Froze. Already V-Trigger active, right? So he doesn't have access to that V-shift, that V-reversal that you talked about to kind of relieve some of that pressure.
This is the thing, because he already had a bad start, and the thing, there's a lot of characters where if you have a bad start, it is going to be an arduous journey coming back, right? And he's already got Masky the Beast trapped in the corner. There's that 1-bar V-trigger there. He's trying to worm his way out.
My goodness, yeah, both of these players down for a slobber knocker. Like, they're slugging out. On hit, they're pressing buttons.
That screen carry there, Ringe. That was fantastic. Gets a throw. Can he sneak another one in there?
Ooh, this time checking the legs right there. And Froze definitely looking a little lost against this Dan. I won't hold you.
He won't. He's not going to do it.
Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, and then he got caught reaching. My man Masky is out here teaching.
Right. Do you know what? Do Dan kick in his face.
Ooh, again.
I would have done light Dan kick in his face. And I was just, but you know what? That is the epitome of Dan gameplay as well as... Listen,
game.
when Masky goes up against anyone, if you don't V-reversal him, he is grinning his teeth and having a smile bigger than the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. He's just like, this guy doesn't know.
He's like, that's all I'm gonna do. That's really Dan's pleasure. If you're a Dan player, you are frothing at the mouth when somebody doesn't V-reversal your pressure.
I'm telling you, man, Froze's got switches up real quick, and I don't know how much Dan experience he has, especially for Dan of this caliber. This kid came out of nowhere. Trust me, I saw him like last year, and it's like, damn. But again, I'm a poison player, so I see half these characters and like, move along. But this guy, you're gonna have to stun him.
Crack the dome piece right now.
He has to reset him, but he's not going to. Play it safe.
Wow, and Masky willing to spin some of that meter in a round that was looking a little long, but it's okay.
Much better. I think he made slight adjustments, more on the patient side as well as just being aggressive. I think he remembered which character he was playing.
Wow, that was incredible having the buffer ready as well.
All right, pressure being applied in the corner there. Couldn't get a taunt cancel, but he's going to get Hadouken out of there. Right, do that staggered pressure with the stand medium punch. There's a taunt cancel. Remember, they do end. The pressure does end. So.
It does end eventually, yeah. But the thing is, Masky's been ending that pressure at a lot of like optimal Tatsu range, right? So he's getting these plus frames if you don't check
jump into it. Oh, he should have let that rock. He would have got more damage there, Ringe. But wake up buttons, classic power up play.
Yep, in the back throw to cut off that screen advantage. We're going to activate the V-trigger as well. Command throw is available. Ooh, you got caught thinking about it. My goodness, the glass crashing. Just walking back, baiting him for a throw again.
Do you know what? Do you know why I like that finish? It's because Masky did that to
That's
him.
what I, yep.
Literally a minute ago.
I was like, give him a taste of his own medicine, fam. Let him know.
Okay, so aggressive adjustments were made. I think he still followed the same philosophy. It's just kind of just first game jitters, remembering where you are, remember who you're playing against. Now, first to one territory, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
I think personally, Masky tried to change up on all the stuff he was doing. It's like, you don't really need to. Froze's been blocking, you've been taken to the corner slowly via block pressure, right? So,
You know, Masky, young, I think he said 19 years old, kind of came out of nowhere. That's something that I think a lot of young players fall victim to, is adjusting before they actually need to, right? You'll be like, okay, I'm successful in this first game, but you have so much respect for your opponent at this level that you're like, oh, they're going to be countering some of the strats that I relied on in that first game. When you actually don't need to, you got to make them show them that they're going to be willing to adjust.
EX conversion into Dankyu gets the forward hard kick. I think that's forward hard kick, the crush counter. Yeah, that was not plus, so he's all right there.
Yeah. Oh, and now reaching again, Masky.
Watch out for the command grab. Please don't DP.
Oh, the tick command grab. He had set him up with so many frame traps. Finally made sure to condition him to block and put himself on set point.
Right, because he's 19, I'm just going to like throw caution to the wind here. I think he's going to panic, and you're probably going to see a lot more reversals than usual. Maybe. We'll see. He's been playing pretty solid so far. It's just Froze's made the right adaptations when needed.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, beautiful whip punish right there. Sending a message, has him in the corner as well. Masky holding on to it, tries for a V-reversal, gets thrown.
He's going to crack. Gets an EX, Dankyu straight to the mid-screen. Good V-shift. Even the break will work because you mess up the timing of the cancel. He's going to jump into it again. Let it rock. There you go.
Got more corner carry off of it as well. V-shift is the corner. Ooh, no, got caught pressing buttons. Wrong time to challenge the Dan need.
Don't cancel. Good V reversal here. 1EX dash straight will put him in a perilous situation. That was not needed.
Oh, Masky with the confirm off the low medium kick again. Froze kind of willing to walk forward when he didn't need to.
One throw will do it. Any hit will do it now. And he V-shifted away. He's got one more trigger. Watch out. There you go. Don't cancel pressure. He's going to pepper him away.
Just outside of the range, but Froze just...
Punish! Do not do anything silly. Oh, no.
The pressure.
Plus. Oh, that was a plus.
Yeah, that was a scary knee. I couldn't really tell myself. What? Oh, no.
I'm trying to think, was that the heavy one or the medium? Because I think the heavy one's -2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might have been the -2 right there, as you mentioned. But real scrambly way to end it regardless. Ended up getting the throw after connecting with that final stand punch. Very, very scary.
Yeah, I think, look, even Froze will tell you, he probably lacks Dan experience, but he was able to kind of bring it under control, you know, restore the status quo, as we'd like to say, and go, you know what, I am playing Boxer, one of the most formidable characters in the game, despite his changes. Obviously, Dan did get buffed as well, but yeah, first game, it was the knowledge check. It was the knowledge check, and it didn't look good. It looked dire in a couple of situations, but he slowed things down. I think he got a bit more tenacious on defense. being able to, you know, challenge. He V-reversed a little bit. I think probably he needed the one game under his belt, whether it was going to be 1-0 or 1-1, and he's going, you know what, let me try and mess it up. Because I'm telling you, the V system messes up Dan's V skill too. The V reversal. Yeah, and remember, when he's in the when he flops the taunt cancel, he's in the counter hit state. So you can mess that up and then get counter hit damage unscaled at that as well. Ridiculous. It's good stuff. I definitely felt that could have gone to final game, final round. Yeah. Just like you said, nerves got to him right at the end there. It's unfortunate there for Masky the Beast.
And that Dan kicks, the heavy is -4 and the medium is -2. So I'm not sure. Whatever it was at the end there definitely was not leaving Dan at a positive position, and Froze was able to clutch it out. But very scary with the way that started. If Masky kind of just was able to steamroll him a little bit harder after that first game, I think he made some unnecessary adjustments in that game too. But it all comes with experience, right? And kind of playing these players from your region more and more. So definitely be on the lookout for him in the future. Froze going to be on to our round 2 of losers. And next up, I believe we have J Killer versus James 2088.
So I believe it's going to be Urian versus Alex. I think I have bumped into J Killer. I've definitely bumped into James. I might have bumped into in the odd occasion here and there. This is going to be an interesting matchup because Alex has been on the rise. They like to call it the Alex Nation. Never seen your flag, but, you know, he's just rising up. Urian,
I know Demon Dad has it somewhere. He photoshopped it somewhere for sure.
Urian, unfortunately, he's on the, you know, the bottom end of the barrel, I suppose. He undergone some, I think, some beneficial changes for the sake of the game. I'm just putting it as diplomatically as possible. I think it was for the greater good.
Yeah, I get it.
A lot of people, a certain community won't agree with me, but he's still here. Urian players are still playing. You just have to change the way you play.
I was just watching Topanga and Shuto was still putting bodies in bags.
Listen, man, I'd fill up that bag like I put fruit in the basket. Urian is fine to me. Anyway, one interesting fact for you guys as well coming into this. Damn, these guys are some of the oldest players we have in this top 16 as well. So James lost his first game to Verdoyance's Rose. Verdoyance isn't in this bracket anymore. I can't remember who he lost to, but Verdoyance plays Rose, and he beat James round 1. James has been on a huge losers run since now. So I think the momentum's still with him, obviously, because you have to play until top 16, then there's a 2-hour break. So I don't know if he's still got it, like just an iota of that momentum left. But he's been making an incredible losers run from losers round 1, round 2. But I believe we have a quote from J Killer, I believe it is. Put it on screen for me, please. What does it say, Rinch?
Shouts to my Madrid FGC crew. So, of course, putting Spain on the map once again, holding it down because, like we were talking about before, right? This is a sea of France, and there's a couple of sparse representation otherwise, and Mad FGC, that's what it stands for, the Madrid FGC. J Killer holding it down. One of the oldest players in the bracket, as you mentioned, too. So I imagine he's like a forefather of the scene, you know what I mean? It's probably helped develop that scene from its beginnings in the FGC.
Dude, this guy's got like 11 years on me. It's like when I was born, he's probably watching Looney Tunes or something. I don't know. And like,
here we are playing Street Fighter 2, bro.
Maybe. Like, look, here we are, man. It's like, again, because it doesn't matter what age you are. Come on over, play some fighting games. Obviously, people say you can't. Obviously, your reaction time gets a bit slower, but you can change. You can train your reactions as you get older. And listen, he's playing Urian. He's an ignorant character. I'm not going to lie to you, but he's still prevalent in certain aspects. And like you said, Topanga, the guys over there in Topanga League, they've been doing a little bit of work. I think you just have to work a little bit harder. Well, I say a little bit harder, maybe a lot harder, depending on your character, but you just get to see two characters that their position in the tier list has shifted like heavily. And again, I don't, outside of Dalsin players, I don't know, I think Urian players are the next best people that have voiced their concerns. I don't know, do you agree with that?
I would agree with that for sure. I think a lot of the Urian players, especially at the beginning of the patch, were crying from the mountaintops for sure. But as you mentioned, right, there's things that definitely got harder. The EX headbutt not being a reversal, definitely rough for Urian in those aspects, right?
We're peachy over here, mate. We're peachy.
But at the same time, it's given him conversions from weird hits that have actually let him kind of get more of a reward than he would have otherwise. So there's a balance to it. Of course, it's definitely something that you drop off to gain something else, but that's how fighting games go.
The headbutt is still throw invincible.
Yeah, facts.
what I like to see about Urien players, you test them, and if they do headbutt in a string, I'm like, you didn't read the patch notes. And then what's even interesting is when they do an X headbutt and you punish incorrectly, I'm like, well, you didn't read the patch. It's just a very interesting situation what's panned out with Urien over time. But Jake Killer's got a very interesting patient style. Hoping this will work because Alex can basically run rampant when he smells blood. So let's be careful and be aware of that.
100%. He already has V-Trigger, right? Already going to be willing to let the Lariat fly if he gets the activate.
Good throw tech there. Alex has got some good options after a throw tech with the mediums, but he's going to get forward throw here, James. Going to go for meaty slash elbow. I don't know why he's going with V-Trigger 1 here. I would have thought V-Trigger 2 would have been better for Alex in this matchup, but I'm not a specialist, so.
We got an Aegis activate and just looked at him for a second into the Batista bomb.
I mean, seems fine to me.
He can still do that, right? He can still do EX tackle to Aegis.
Well, the thing is, he has to actually rely more on that activation. That might be his best V-Trigger activation route now. Okay. Because of everything that's changed. Low forward is still a very good one because it's a low attack. But I think just because of what Urien's boiled down to now and the options he has available, which are like limited than before, it's going to be a rough ordeal for a lot of matchups. But again, you're just going to have to see that blue spark when you're blocking a lot more. So I don't know.
And James, I think it feels a little bit more comfortable in the second round. I think Alex could definitely hang with Urien on the ground, no problem. He just needs to not get intimidated by him.
All right, going to get that core punch kind of hit, but couldn't get the follow-up there. Really peppering. I feel like this range here, their mediums are pretty good, but I still feel Urien can be a little bit more obnoxious, a little bit more unpleasant.
It definitely seems like, especially with the way Jake Killer has been using the knees, but right now we're in the corner.
Gonna get some Oki as well. New change there for Alex. Delayed jab, he can stun him.
Oh, the knee puts him on the verge of it.
Was that the full combo? I don't know.
Yeah, either way, EX trying to keep those plus frames going, but we find a window to activate, jump right out.
Lovely defensive choice there from James, and that might be the round. Range dominant crush to end it there. There you go.
Shout outs Dante with the jam session. Urien bringing it 1-0 for Jay Killer.
You know what's crazy as well? James didn't play bad that set.
No.
He had actually some pretty good choices. I think, again, this I know Urien hasn't. He has substantially changed. He's undergone some very interesting changes throughout the lifespan of Street Fighter V, but the fact that you are still obstinate with that V-Trigger means there's still something to hang on to. And the fact that I feel that one of the priorities that the players need to have now in general is try and get him to capitulate, make him crack a V-reversal, V-shift, but they feel they don't need to.
Yeah.
Because you had a headbutt before, and I said had. Hey, you don't. Come on, grab to start things off.
Yeah, Hyper Bomb and with the meaty elbow slash afterwards. Good spacing from James here in this opening round.
Great dash shot power bomb. I think, yeah, he's going to try and introduce the element of surprise, maybe try and just catch a couple of grabs. Maybe regular throws will work later in the set as well, but we'll see. Got V-Trigger ready and waiting there, Jay Killer.
Oh, hit big Hyper Bomb once again. Has him in the corner. Pretty much a textbook Alex round right there. Well done. I'm looking for Jay Killer to bring out the knees again. That was very successful for him in the first game. And he kind of got bullied at that range where knees is pretty decent at.
I think these guys are just really content with just blocking.
It's looking like it.
You know, I respect it, but again, you're going up against a grappler. What happens? They try to grab you.
You do got to do something other than just block at some point. But yeah, James doing a great job. You see harassing as soon as he gets into the range. There's the knees we were talking about.
Okay, there's the V break, but goes back to neutral, and Jay Killer's got the life at the moment, but I believe Alex is the one working with more vitality in general. Gets that coil kick, could confirm to end it with a chariot tackle.
Activation, yeah. Oh.
Okay, that must have been an execution error. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Good break.
Yeah, it really hasn't seemed like this V-Trigger 1 has really done anything so far. Oh, there we go. You're welcome. Quick commentator's curse for you real quick.
Good delay tech there as well. Head crush. Oh, he's going to do it again.
Oh, man. Walked up into forward fierce right there. Was looking for the big crush counter.
All right, he's going to block this out. He gets the break. He's going to have to firm it on defense. He's there. Lovely stuff there from James, and he's fine. Charge it up. Get that hard hit. Just wait. It's all good out here.
That big boot's going to break the glass. Be careful. Oh, but instead it's the hard hit on the jump in. That's a lot of damage.
Please don't V-shift.
Oh, blocks the overhead. Nothing afterwards.
You know, they both have the overheads at a -8 on block. Yeah. They have some of the most punishing overheads. Don't do that. One low will do it. Ah! There you go.
So one low will do it indeed. The crouch medium kick after he lands from the neutral jump just outside the chop range. You can see both of these players very well versed in each other's spaces and just staying outside.
Do you know what's crazy? It's how, you know, fidgety and antsy you get. It's like, oh, one hit. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, Grinch, don't do that. And it's like, what are we doing? But that's it. It just becomes sound effects on the soundboard. But yeah, these guys are working out here. It's one apiece right now. Interesting stuff there as well because slowed things down. I just feel the way this matchup is panning out, I'm going to mention this at the end when we review the set. I just think V-Skill 2 and V-Trigger 2 would be much better for James.
Okay.
Just the way he's playing and how J-Kill is defending, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And we see the low hits have caught J-Kill a couple of times, right? And you get so much off that with the V-Trigger 2. You get the Tornado DDT confirmed.
All right, Violet knee drop. And one thing you have to remember about Urien, which is annoying for a lot of players, is his frame data keeps varying. Because you have to space the tackles, the knee drops, the headbutts from distance. You're never quite confident in certain situations how to punish him properly. So
Absolutely. Like,
that's something that's worked in his favor for years.
Yeah, right? It's just something that's always going to be present because it varies so often, and that's just not something that a lot of characters have in their arsenal.
All right, I think James is afraid to Kamanga right now. He might have went to that well a bit too often in the last game just to try and equalize it there, Ringe.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful counter that time. So the V-Trigger available was scouting the knees. Some good damage reward. Yeah, he loves that lariat after the command throw in the corner.
Oh, he tried to know the head. I don't think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted a stand medium punch.
Yeah.
But he got the overhead, but J-Killer detected it.
Chase down.
He's feeling himself. Yeah, he's feeling himself. Watch out for a head crush. He might do a regular one because he's feeling himself.
Yeah, he's got no EX meter.
Okay, a counter hit or a poke will do it here. He's not going to risk a jump in. Maybe he might. Whoa!
I was going to say these fireballs could definitely get stomped or headbutted.
Watch out. He's about to build the one bar, and that metallic Severe was way too obvious. My mum saw that. She saw it. Said, don't do it, J-Killer.
Unfortunate.
You're going to kill yourself. Don't do it.
The namesake not going the way of the opponent. James right now on set point.
All right, no forward. Going to challenge each other. Make sure they take their turns back. Good check with the crouching medium punch. He keeps in the heavy one of Air Stampede. I don't know why.
The counter go get that crouch medium punch, a very strong button. Now it's his kit.
One grab.
The chop Kobashi.
Oh, and he done the jab buff into EX Flash Chop as well. Not looking good for J-Killer. He's almost about to have a bar. And Mr. Miyagi chop didn't stun him.
And that's going to give J-Killer a chance here. You need an Aegis and a Dream. Oh, does not challenge if that crouch medium can activate.
That might be a wrap. That might be it. The V-Trigger's gone.
Yeah.
And he's got way too much health to work with. This is a substantial life lead.
Oh, and while you're thinking about how to make that comeback, I got full CA. I don't really know how to get in. You get caught thinking a little bit too much, and Alex just nullifies that range that you thought you had with the EX stun gun headbutt. James in second round of Losers Top 16.
Well played there to James, continuing that emphatic journey through losers bracket indeed with newly buffed Alex. Unfortunate there to J-Killer. Much appreciated for coming through, representing Spain. But he's no longer going to be repping the country. That's one less Spanish players for the French to worry about. Yeah, I felt this was a kind of, you know, slow, kind of we can chill and wait for the fireworks to pop off. They never really did. But, you know, it's interesting. James did win. I can't help but feel, I think a different change in B system would have changed this set, like, dramatically. I think just because of how he came at it, analytical, patient, we work with it. J-Killer to me looks too conservative. I don't think things were done in trepidation. It's just like, this is what I've got to work with now. Yeah. I'm just a passive player. I don't have that kind of pivotal reversal, you know, the EX headbutt to come back. So it felt like, again, a lot of characters are just going to basically just stomp all over Urien, like Abigail's forward throw or his back throw, sorry. It's going to be rough. So that was unfortunate there. But good stuff there to James, and he's going to have to go up against Junior Leo's Luke Ringe. That's going to be interesting later.
Most definitely. And yeah, I pretty much agree with you when it comes to the way J-Killer kind of approached that matchup, right? He felt like he got bullied. He felt like the Alex was just controlling the pace constantly. And as you mentioned, a lot of players are going to feel more capable of doing that to Urien because of the no EX reversal. So as Urien players, I think they got to prep to make sure that they are ready for the over-aggression that a lot of players previously probably wouldn't have utilized up against them. So good stuff to James, though. He'll be in second round of losers. And we got Loix and Freya, Wanmei, as well as Valmaster and Mel Dominant, all still to come, of course. But before we get to that, I want to give another shout out, of course, to Street Fighter Duel. You guys have seen the stage. You've seen the ad. You've heard us read it. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China with a global version coming soon. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
Now, we are in the third tournament for CPT.
Yes.
There's 19. Quick maths. There's still 16 more to go. The next one, I believe, I think the team's going to have to put it on my screen because I actually haven't. It's North America, Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
What does St. Cola call it? Mid-best?
Mid-best.
Is that what they call it? All right. Hopefully, you might see St. Cola next week. Who knows? But yes, if you are from this region, please get signing up because the sign-ups do close on May 30th. So that's still over just a week and a bit now. And then the stream is going to be happening on June 4th and June 5th. Pre-show done to you by some of the Midwest's best players, Brian F. and Rob TV. They'll be in there. They were basically top two. So I don't know if there's going to be a bout between them again or someone going to kind of defy destiny.
And I didn't realize that this is coming after Combo Breaker as well. So that's going to be coming after the Midwest versus West Coast 5v5. You feel me? So we'll see if Midwest is going to be feeling real nice and just flexing on everybody for that CPT, or if they're going to have something to prove after Combo Breaker. We're going to find out, of course, on June 4th and 5th. Make sure to tune in to Combo Breaker the weekend before that, I believe, on the Memorial Day weekend. As we got Midwest coming up June 4th, and then Japan after that. The heat is here.
Well, I'm telling you, you're going to be spoiled with gourmet street fighter action in general. Now, this is what's crazy, right? Because registration period for Japan, it should be open. It will be opening soon. But this year reminds me of good old SBO. It's a double elimination bracket. But them man over there, I'm going to go UK real quick. Them man over there have only got one chance.
One chance for Japan.
You got Daigo, you got Takido, you got the John Takeuchi, you got Shuto, you got
so
Dogo,
many.
you got Fudo.
The list goes on and on and on.
It's going to be rough. And they're going to be like, yeah, happy to be here. I mean, it's great. I mean,
Oh, coach.
Takido might not mind. He might just post another beamer on Twitter and just make everyone feel bad about themselves. It's like, God damn it, man. It's like, you have to do that to us? Really?
Yo, that's how you got to be after you get eliminated from the tournament. You're like, I got to make myself feel better somehow. Let me post the selfie with the beamer real quick.
Oh, man. Fantastic. But yes, as Rinch said, we'll make ourselves feel better. We're going to make ourselves feel better by taking a very quick break. And when we come back, more action from France, Spain, and Portugal. See you on the other side.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand after defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
And welcome back to the Capcom Pro Tour. We are here bringing you top 16 of France, Spain, and Portugal. Thank you everybody at home for joining myself and Jammers for an incredible top 16. We've already had some dope matches. We already have our top 8 winner side qualified in the books, but we got a couple of losers round matches to go for as well. How you doing, Jammers?
Yeah, I'm all good. Obviously, during the break, I had an encounter with the paper towels in the toilet.
We didn't have to tell them about that.
No,
Jammers,
but I'm going to.
Okay.
You have to let them know.
Fair enough.
I put them in the wrong area. That's all I'm going to do.
The short and you know.
Got to make it funny. Got to give people something to laugh at home. You know what it is. But yeah, much appreciate everyone to tuning in this weekend
They
right
work
now.
differently in the UK.
Well, listen, I know that. I'm not at home. All right. He's trying to remind me I'm not at home. I've got 3 more days of you. Anyway, let's take a look at the bracket real quick, but make sure you tweet out the stream, twitch.tv/Capcom Fires, and let everybody know there is another CPT going live this weekend, or is live this weekend. So yes, we have still got 2 more losers round 1 matches to play. Loix versus Freya 1 May, and Valmaster versus Now Dominant. And then after that, we'll be closing out the day with the round 2 matches to see who qualifies for top 8. Looking juicy. Looking a bit aggressive for some of these guys as well. It might be a bit tense because a couple of first-timers here, which is great to see. You should usually see this in the losers bracket. It's a mix of new names and familiar faces. And again, at the end of the day, top 8, creme de la creme. There's only 1 position on the line with $5,000 prize pool money split between the top 4. These guys are trying to get that 1 step closer to that prize money. But yes, Loix versus Freya 1 May next. So that is going to be Honda versus Nash. That's my assumption.
Yeah,
I don't know if
same.
Loix has another character. Freya does have the substitute G, but because of the changes Nash has undergone in the past year and a half, I wouldn't see a reason to not pick Nash. No reason to neglect him here. Now, the thing is, I'm going to be 100% real with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak to a lot of Nash players because sometimes I'm like, your neutral is so elusive, your conversation skills might be a bit elusive as well. So I don't even know if I'm going to get the right answer out of you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, Tasty Steve is the Nash player. We know how he feels about neutral, you know.
Mate, shouts to Steve. I know you're watching. You still can't answer you. Anyway, but it's a case where Nash got some interesting changes, and his neutral has always been like kind of what Infiltration showed us in 2016.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
Hit and run, all about the evasiveness, very just duck and weave sort of thing, and it's hard for a lot of people to control him. He's got a very good projectile game that has been buffed substantially over the years as well, that a lot of people still haven't wrapped their heads around because it's like, I don't know how it works. I know it's potent in the corner, but mid-screen, he's always able to change it. So if you haven't seen much of Freya, because I know you commentated some of the songs before, I think this would be a very good showcase for him, just to kind of give you a little bit more light on what he's really... I think he is probably the best Nash we have in Europe right
Straight
now.
up. That's good to hear. So yeah, hopefully be repping today up against the Honda. I think Honda, I haven't really seen this matchup at this level, to be honest with you, right? With pretty underrepresented characters. Honda's still relatively new in comparison to Nash. So I'm very interested to see how Loix kind of approaches this. In my head, I feel like he could definitely do some things that annoy Nash a little bit. I think the EX butt slam, going through some of that projectile game in that medium range where Nash likes to play, can definitely maybe hinder what Nash wants to do at that specific range, like Sobot, Fireball type joint. But we'll see. Of course, I just think it's going to rely on the experience and the ideas the players have in a matchup that's pretty new.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the main concerns you have to see is how Freya wants to defend, because obviously Nash doesn't have a strike V-reversal. He's got an escape one.
Yeah.
So he's just going to just basically pass through if he gets pressured by hands too much. That's where he's going to have to rely on V-shift break, not even just the V-shift, because for characters that don't have a strike V-reversal, their only thing to work with is V-shift break.
Yes.
And sometimes that might get baited if you use it in the incorrect scenario. So we'll see how it goes here. He's gone with V-Skill 2 and V-Trigger 2. I respect it. He wants to amplify.
Yeah.
Sonic Scythes can be an absolute nuisance for Honda to deal with at certain ranges. I think it's going to be probably death by 1,000 cuts for the both of them. I know they got good combos and they inflict an incredible amount of damage, but we'll see how it goes. And they both gone with V-Skill 2, so they're going to amplify their specials and try and get as much control in neutral as possible.
Ooh, and already tested with the moveset, but got hit, and it was a little bit too much hit stuff for that throw. Ended up getting thrown himself because of it.
Okay, walks under, good walk under there. Intermediate punch, heavy Sonic Scythe, and walk under the moonsault. Damn, these guys like walking under each other's stuff.
Yeah. Good anti that time, though, and immediate cancel into the scythe once again.
Stealing meter, I like it.
EX in the corner, you mentioned it. It is not your turn, fam. I'm not sure what the ambitious decision that Loix went with there, but usually you cannot press after that.
And this character doesn't get spoken about enough, you know. He's got that new bazooka knee change as well. He's got a target combo for that now. The forward light kick into stand fierce now or something. I think that's what it was called. Obviously, he had a 3-frame button now. He never used to have that for so long. He's got some interesting changes. I don't think this character's like particularly bad.
Yeah, definitely not. He's getting the counter there. He's mauling in the corner now.
He's always had good frame data.
Yeah.
No one really spoke about this guy's frame data. His neutral was a huge problem, but his frame data has always been pretty damn good.
And then wigging up with the buttons again. This is a great look for Freya. Oh, the knee once again in the face, and then just walking back, catching Loix at the wrongest moment, trying to do something.
So, okay, this matchup basically was world record timing, but biggest concern is the fireball. Yeah. Because, right, EX Sonic Boom, especially in the corner, is +2. I think it varies depending on your timing. I could be incorrect about that part. But another change that was interesting is when you throw a regular one, if you have the bar, you can press 2 buttons to follow up with an EX version. That's what's going to throw a lot of people off. And because Loix doesn't pick V-Skill 1, which is the clap and the absorb it, he'd have to do too much to get around a projectile game Nash doesn't have to rely on. That's the biggest concern for me in this matchup watching it from here.
So yeah, considering that Loix win with V-Skill 2, it looks like they're going back to the character select screen. Do you think that's the thing he's changing?
He might do so. It might help him with.
V-Skill 1 get buffed?
It did, because you can cancel special cancelable normals can go into it.
There you go.
I can't remember if he can do something after it that he can do before, but maybe that might be something useful. I think he needs to be a little bit more ignorant. He didn't V reversal. Yeah. This is a matchup where it just looks atrocious from start to fit. Look, if Freya didn't tell you that in the first game there, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. And like you said, this is a matchup we seldom see or don't see. He's picked V-Skill 1. All right, cool. So maybe it's going to help, but the thing is now he has to be more attentive to Freya's meter, because if you clap the wrong thing, he might get a counter hit conversion off an EX Sonic Boom.
Yeah, definitely. For Loix, what's your ideal scenario is right here. That was a great headbutt cancel off that clap and escape in the corner. But yeah, your definitely primary ideal situation here is just to play offense, get Nash in the corner, and not have to worry about that neutral, not worry about considering all those options. But right now, Freya turned it around quick.
Yeah, there's been a lot of arbitrary sweeps from Freya this set so far, but again, that's a fast sweep. If you can't punish it from max distance, it's actually pretty difficult for Honda to do anyway, so it is a poke. Nice buffer.
Beautiful right there.
There's a trap. Oh, you could lose the game if he gets the right reset. No, he doesn't need to. Yeah, he doesn't need to. Still alive, but he might do tragedy assault.
Oh, he did a clean block.
Damn.
Man, Loix knew it too. Tried for a reset. Thought he would be able to catch him sleeping a little bit, but Freya, well awake.
I don't play Nash, by the way. I'm just saying, I don't play Nash, by the way. That's it. I think that projectile, that new buff, is what's really annoying him. No punishable there, too far away, has to deal with this. He tried to backdash, but you can't backdash in that scenario, I'm afraid. Yeah. Gotta firm it.
That's why I like Loix utilizing the EX butt slam, get in, doesn't have any meter to do it again, just got it back. Ooh, yeah, headbutt.
He's trying to stop headbutt with jab checks and booms before it comes out. I think just throwing the boom is fine. Yeah. Honestly, you've got 2 bars. He's going to be worried about clapping it. Yeah, see? He doesn't want to clap and cancel. Sounds like an album. Clap and cancel. That's going to be punished. That is a new change, but I think it's very hard to hit confirm that.
His hands harassing in the corner, but wakes up with the EX of his own.
Oh, here comes.
Nice. The EX headbutt finally finding its mark right there. We've seen Loix go with it a couple of times. Couldn't really come up with anything big, but there it was. My man's Jammer's trying to V-Skill 1 a Nat in the studio right now.
You guys can't see us on camera.
He was close. He didn't want to make noise for the mics, but I understand.
All right, gets the back throw. He's got 2 bars again. And yeah, this is the problem. I think this is it. I'm going to make note of this once we're done today. Nice headbutt.
Yes, oh, back to back with the headbutts now. You talked about Loix not getting ignorant enough in that first match. Whoa.
Oh, here it comes. Here comes this amazing V-trigger that doesn't get spoken about enough.
Nah, it's ridiculous. You remember the Intel World Open, fam. We saw this V-trigger run rough shot.
Just throw in. Thank you. Well, I know he take, but...
No, that's a whiff. Oh, not a big punish, though.
He's going to try. Come on, grab him.
Oh, and Freya escaping by the skin of their teeth right there. Closing out the set 2-0. That was a dangerous whiff at the end. But luckily, Loix not having the full punish ready. Freya closing out the set, holding on to the lead.
Adaptations and strategy too little too late. Unfortunate, but we were seeing signs of life there. He swapped to the V-Skill 1. It didn't make a massive difference, but it was something that gave, again, the more tools you have at your disposal to get your opponent to consider certain scenarios and forget about other things, the better. When you pick that B skill 1, that's exactly what panned out. Okay, yes, you can absorb 1 projectile, but because that new change, that might be the crux, the fulcrum of that matchup there. Yeah, it's like when I have meter, what am I going to do? Am I going to throw 1 boom and you're going to clap it? Or am I going to do 1 boom and then throw another one there as well? But I like how that one panned out. I know it's a matchup we're probably not going to see for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for real.
But I'm going to make notes on that anyway. But well played to Freya 1May. Please keep an eye out for this guy's Nash. He's like, I didn't spread the V-Trigger 2 propaganda. Don't worry. Listen, if you've seen that stealth dash V-Trigger enough, that is better than people think.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't have to speak about it if you see it enough. Like, that V-Trigger 2 is the skipping the neutral type joints. That's a prime skipping neutral material, that V-Trigger.
The ways he can activate into it now, I think he has some of the most flexible activation moves with that. Because remember, he can do Fireball with Fireball.
True.
And they took that with Makuma.
True.
And it's a very big thing in this game. But anyway, we can talk about Nash more later because Freya 1May, he will be going up against Akainu later. So don't worry, Freya. I'm going to spread that V-Trigger 2 propaganda. I'm going to make people see the real light behind that thing. But yeah, well played to him. Unfortunate there. But yes, we are going to now our last match of Losers Top 16 Round 1. We did see it in the bracket just a couple seconds ago. We're getting the guys in the lobby setting it up right now. It will be Maldominant.
Indeed.
Going up against Valmaster. So, Valmaster, he took a very long break, a huge hiatus from the game for a little while. And he kind of came back last year.
Okay.
Very active, entering salt mines and, practicing Chun-Li, dabbling with other characters as well. But late last year, probably November time, really hit the ground running. I think he came 9th their last CPT. So he didn't make the top 8. This is going to be a big change for him. But again, he's a staple. He's an iconic figure in the French scene.
I can't believe he's only 27 because I feel like he's been around forever. As long as I've been in the fighting game community, I feel like I know Valmaster.
Do you know what's crazy? I said this when we had them on the show when he fought Vega Patch in the 1st to 10. There are a few people that are like, who's this guy?
Oh man, yeah, that is how it be. That is how it be.
But it's like, again, you'll get a new influx of players. People are like, I'm new, I don't know these guys, and it's again, if you're not. A lot of things we have in the European scene, we're not like out there like the Americans, like in terms of social media and content creation. So there's going to be a couple of people you don't really know about. Some people said, who's Valmaster? And I was like, oh.
Yeah. How did you not know? But it's okay, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, just quickly, his opponent, Maldominant, he actually improved and grew as a Yearling player in the past 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
He was very active. The best way for me to describe him is he doesn't like to block.
All right.
But because
I can get behind that.
Because of the changes, he's kind of had to learn how to do it. I felt he didn't block before unless you put him in block stun.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Unless he was already blocking, he wasn't blocking. I get it.
Listen, you're going to see how active this guy is. You're going to think there's not a problem with Yuri the way he plays. But he's got some very creative conversions. Okay. I'm hoping he can land them. But we've seen this matchup a fair bit in SFL last year, Japan. Yeah. I think a bit in Street Fighter League. Sorry, not Topanga League, sorry. So it's going to be an interesting match. I think it favors Chun-Li pretty much lopsided now, but we'll see how they unfold between these two.
Yeah, close mirror, trying to get real intimate to CQC, but Maldominant not quite quick enough on the trigger.
Oh, Valmaster's gone with V-Trigger 1.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm going to ask him about that later. Because I do talk to this guy and play him on a regular basis. I haven't been able to play because I've been here. But let's see how he activates it. But he loves the new changes with Chun-Li. That's dead. Yeah, full combo. Yep.
And a perfectly timed button press from Valmaster right there pretty much, right? We saw him wait a second, give Maldominant a chance to do something after the EX tackle, of course, -2. But still, Valmaster found that moment of flinching from Maldominant's side.
Yeah, listen, man, this guy's a Chun-Li aficionado. Any game you put Chun-Li in, he'll be there.
Yeah.
And she's got tight combos, like execution-heavy combos. He will learn them. He loves his execution. This guy's one of the most dexterous men we have in the European scene.
So, I mean, both of these players should have heavy rewards off any hit they get.
We'll try to throw, gets the spinning bird kick there.
Nice challenge again, and yeah, just double jab into the headbutt. Very optimal.
Goes for a delayed medium punch. He's trying to get something going here, Maldominant. He really wants to keep him in the corner.
EX busts out, has the corner locked down now.
+2 on the Metallic Sphere. Watch out for Hazanshu. You throw a 5, well, that might be Hazanshu in reaction.
Yeah, and that's why Maldominant keeping it holstered right now. Oh, the V-break was too far. No whip punish, though.
Unfortunately, because this hitbox it looks like it goes upwards. Yeah. It's not as like a Lucia or a Poison, something like that. Maybe even a Rose.
Yeah, definitely a bit weird to punish that V-break.
Right, if you do something silly, you're going to lose, but he didn't. I like it. The thing is, I felt because like the lack of defensive options that Urin has available to him now, they've had to like go for the gusto, pile on that pressure, and just move forward like a walking brick wall from Indiana Jones. Sometimes it feels like that sometimes.
I mean, that's most definitely, I think, a big aspect in fighting games, period. You gotta have to have that characteristic in your game plan. It's just the optimal way to play with a certain life lead up against certain characters.
All right, well, right now it is Valmaster with a slight life lead, but he's slowly increasing it, making sure the deficit is not something that Maldominant can reduce.
You see that tackle got caught in the startup, but this time the EX busts out. Good defense on the Aegis. Gonna get the one hit at the end into the reset. Tried to shimmy him, but no bites.
He's out. He's still got one more mirror to work with, and he hasn't got any meter to kind of force Valmaster to guess. He checked. Whoa, wow. Okay. He anticipated a backdash.
Yeah.
Put the mirror out. There you go. Oh, it's not there. He put the wrong mirror out.
Yeah,
I think he went behind there. Yeah.
He did. Surprised. Yeah, you usually see the close or the up mirror in that situation.
Watch out for the jab buff or anything into EX legs, but he didn't need it. And he misses the cancel, but luckily enough, the second chance to win the game came about. Gets that jab check. Maldominant is looking quite fidgety and agitated there, Ringe.
Yeah, even at the end right there, right, we saw the combo now fully completed, and he immediately dashed forward. You talked about his activity, his aggressiveness, whether it be on defense or offense, and we really saw it on display in that last moment. So it feels like it's good in the matchup, I think, but you got to really harness it. You got to control it, right? I think right now is a little bit off the rails when it comes to his aggression.
I'm just trying to look. I don't think Maldominant entered the CPTs last year. If he did, he didn't make it to this stage. So this is a big improvement for him in general. I know one of his biggest results was a PlayStation tournament we did, me, Vicious, and David, not too long ago. I think he came 4th, I believe, in that event. But again, big improvements for making it this far for anyone.
And right there, even putting up that vertical fireball, catching Valmaster jumping, really reacted to that fireball with a jump and got caught for it.
All right, staggered pressure. And the thing is, that crouch hard punch, +1 unblocked from the second hit. Chun-Li's buttons are still good, man. We all spoke about the problem, but we forgot about the others. Good blocks there. The defensive sequence from Valmaster, sensational stuff.
Yeah, it's so easy to want to walk back after that first crouch medium kick, and instead he just held it down back, didn't get his legs exposed at all. Beautiful anti-air and the cross under as well.
Watch out for the other head. Oh, he went low. Well, you got me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You do have to watch out for that when you're on the verge of dying up against Chun-Li. She could easily stomp your head in.
All right. All right. Stand hard kick, couldn't get the cancel again. He's had a couple of drops today, Valmaster. I noticed that when he was playing against Luffy, when I was watching their match on CFN earlier today. But it's not like letting him down too harshly.
Still putting him in decent positions.
Hit confirm into the CA. He might do it now, though. If he gets a hit, he might do it to CA now.
I could definitely see. Willing to spin the meter now where he wasn't before.
Yeah, there's a lack of confidence and strategy in the way Maldominant's playing. He is actually perplexed. He doesn't know what to do.
I was going to say, definitely a loss in strategy. But, you know, you can throw all that out the window as long as you can get that offense going. You get close. You make the opponent guess between strike throw. So he's trying to do force his way with the EX, but a beautiful backdash from Valmaster going to make that whiff.
Yes, wise choice there from Valmaster, because this is not going to kill, but what it's going to do is it's going to put Maldominant to guess for the round. No more EX headbutt. You're not going to V-shift. Pick your poison.
Ooh, good block, but couldn't survive the corner long enough. Valmaster taking it 2-0. I do love the block, though, considering that he got clip low last time. Thought that he would switch it up and go for the overhead, which he did, but Valmaster just stayed in control of that set. It really felt like the experience gap played a big factor there.
Well played to Valmaster. Another efficient performance by him. Not in the top 8 yet. Still has one more match to play to kind of solidify that. Like we said, he made 9th last time he entered the CPT, the second and final one for this region here. It'd be a shame if he got the 9th place curse. But again, with the amount of practice and time he's been putting in, he's been playing Phenom. I've been playing him as well. You know, he's been playing a lot of the European guys, entering Salt Mine Leagues and getting some good results from there as well. He's really trying to put in the work, and he's one of the contenders. For me personally, he could go the distance and qualify for the Cup. Obviously, he did tell me there's somebody he doesn't want to fight, but I think it's a general consensus with the French community at the moment, but we'll see. But yeah, Maldominant had a good start. I don't think it was a preemptive sprint. I think it was just a case of he tried to surprise Valmaster and really check the knowledge on how much he knows Urin currently. But as the set went on, I think the kind of not motivation, the confidence and kind of the determination, it was slowly deteriorating because it's like I don't think Yurin can cut it against someone of Valmaster's caliber using Chun-Li, especially how she got buffed and Yurin got toned down a little bit. You know, it was pretty unfortunate. But Valmaster's qualifying match is going to be Link Exelo. That might be a Luke pick. It could be Nakali. It's interesting, but you know what? We got to move on. I mean, Ringe, who have we got next?
We got TKR versus Froze next. So it's going to be the Chun that we just spoke about with Valmaster. We're going to a run back real quick up against Froze on the Balrog or the Honda. We're going to see, of course, Froze just barely squeaked it out up against Masky on that Dan in the previous losers round 1. And then on the other hand, TKR falling to Luffy, right, in a pretty intense set up in winner's bracket. So looking to bounce back from that, get his own top 8 spot, while Froze trying to let it be known that the Balrog is here to make top 8.
For sure. So yeah, we're going to see Chun-Li versus Boxer. Have we seen this much so far? I don't think so. Probably on an odd YouTube replay here and there. I don't think anything significant has happened where we've seen Boxer and Chun-Li. You're probably going to see Chun-Li more often this year than Boxer. Don't be fooled. Boxer players are trying to hide on the radar like Rashid players always do. Calling you out, Rashid players. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think Stan Hardkick might be a big factor here for actually both characters. Stan Hardkick for Chun-Li, neutral factor to preemptively stop dash straight, get crush counter. Chun-Li got good punishes. I feel she got good crouch jab, good crouch light kick against poorly spaced dash straights. I think the question is, what kind of experience does Froze have against Valmaster and Chun-Li in general, especially this version of the game? I can't remember if I can't remember if TKR and Froze faced in the top 8 last year.
I really
want to double check. They both featured there. I can't remember if that was the match that knocked TKR out of the tournament. They could be finished in the same positions. I might have to double check the bracket.
Well, you can double check it while we talk about this. But TKR and Froze, of course. TKR woke up with a lot of spinning bird kicks, what we saw up against Luffy, right? Was constantly making sure that he never really got conditioned.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't care what you're coming at me with. I know that Mika's game plan is strike throw, and you are so good at it in certain scenarios that I'm going to keep committing to the SPK. So I'm very interested in seeing how they play defensive against Balrog here. And once Balrog does get into that range where he can kind of impose his will.
So Froze's gone with V-Skill 1 and V-Trigger 1, so he's gone with an all V-Skill or V-System 1 loadout.
The stock stuff.
TKR has gone with the second loadout for the V-System, V-Trigger 2 and V-Skill 2. I'm not sure if Hazanshi will go over dash straight, but it's -4 on block. If you space them, because you can kind of pilot Hazanshi. I'm not sure if you can kind of throw off Froze with that. I don't know. I don't see Chun-Li players resorting to that as much as they do. I just see it as a combo or activation for them. So.
That'd be interesting, though, to see if TKR can bring this out as a neutral option, just to throw off Froze. We talked about earlier, right? Overwhelming your opponent's mental stack, just putting as many things on them to worry about as possible. That could be something to at least show the opponent early.
Right,
look at the stand heavy kicks, bro. You were talking about it. They're fishing.
They will do it, and it's one of those normals in the game where it's like, it's a heavy, but it feels it's got less recovery than a light. It really feels like that sometimes.
Right? Yeah.
Good V reversal, keep him in check. Can we get a throw maybe? Too far. He's probably going to allow. No, maybe not.
Oh, just whiffed, resulting in a quick trade.
I know I didn't cancel. He wanted it to V reversal. Now he's going to do it. There you go. Good patience there from Froze. 1EX dash straight will do it though.
Oh, big clip low.
He shifts. Just going to firm it out. Wait for his chime. Probably going to buff into a dash straight or something. EX dash straight is still a threat though.
This was a scary scenario though. We talked about players getting too timid with a life lead. Gets guard broken into the throw reset. TKR bringing it back. That's why you got to be a little bit careful with how much you switch your game plan up when you have a life lead.
Big risk there from TKR. I thought a 2-bar combo heavily scared would have done the trick, but listen, he knows Chun-Li way better than I do. And I'm surprised that Froze didn't try and V-shift from the guard break.
Yeah, true.
Well, okay.
Screw up.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you got to throw it out, man, no matter how haphazard it may be.
TKR on the record. Yeah, we talked about make your opponent think about as many things as possible. That's what maybe Froze was looking for there. Kind of walk forward, getting checked for it.
I like these crouch medium punch buffers, but unfortunately to no avail. One guess for the gain. Try to go for a delayed throw tech. Not working. And TKR has been as aggressive as can be and closes out that round with a forward medium punch. He was really on the back foot for the majority of that set there, Froze. So that was crazy.
That was a suffocation from TKR in the corner right there. Legit, not letting him have any type of space, no breathing room. I love at the end right there. As soon as he got out of throw range, he was like, I'm not even making you guess between strike throw. I'm not walking forward. I'm just hitting the back forward medium punch. Keep it compact and safe.
The thing is as well, you can kind of see what Froze's strategy is, the intent there. He's trying to deal with stand hard kick. He's trying to like space himself from stand hard punch. But TK's like, okay, I'll just use another normal and get it from another range. There you go. Get nice buffer. I have the charge ready.
Yeah, definitely have the charge ready. Yeah, ended up contesting that overhead, or excuse me, the little throw bait kick that Chun-Li has.
Forward HK.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there you go. See, he's really trying to counterpoke because he knows he has to counterpoke. That's how Balrog's going to have control in this matchup. But here's the thing. He had a life in the first round and TKO brought it back. Deja vu all over again. Playing it out there, just splurging the meat on Kikoshos. Good block.
But I'm a little concerned with Froze's defense in those scenarios. I think he's blocking a little bit too much. That's what cost him that round where he had a significant life lead. We are back to the neutral now, though.
I don't think it's out of panic. I think it's out of uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think he wants the challenge because he hasn't actually challenged TKR at all.
Ooh.
You are TKR. That is such a TKR move. And he's smiling. I know he's smiling. Oh, my Lord of mercy.
I don't even want to commentate anymore.
TKR. I told you. Listen, what did Brian F say? The most electrifying region.
Come on, man.
I said you're going to see it.
Forward heavy kick on block into CA. You're going to be disrespectful like that?
My man's in your head.
That's what I'm saying. The mental, I'm crumbled, but Froze he's looking angry, to be honest.
Do you know what's crazy? If that was the trigger to make you play quicker than you were already, so be it.
Yeah, right? Oh my goodness.
You see why I had to fly 6,000 miles plus to get away from these people?
Need a break, need a vacation from stuff like this. What do you mean? I can't believe he pulled that out still.
Just because of what he's done, he might finish it with super again. Yeah, he's going to super it.
Oh, no. The CA to close out the entire set. Does Balrog have enough life? No, sir. 2-0. Oh, no.
Whoever's handling the Capcom Fighters Twitter account, can you get the first round where he did forward HK into super? Like, he knew. And do you know what's crazy? I think because he was so rigid, so methodical with what he was doing. I'm talking about Froze. I'm not talking about TK. I don't care about TK right now. Because Froze was so scripted, that was like guaranteed. And here's the thing, right? It's tournament. He had one game up and he risked it down. Like, TKR, why have you got to be like that?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, what in the world, man? A game up, or first round, didn't really, but that's the best time to do things like that, isn't it? It's like when the opponent doesn't feel the desperation is coming, when you don't feel like they have any reason to do anything wild. That is the time to do something wild.
I need to check the health bars because if that was blocked, he'd have lost, but it's like he just knew.
He would have died. He would have lost for sure, from what I recollect.
It's just like, TKR, do you know what? I can't. Look,
Despicable.
I'm doing my job, but I can't really say much because
Despicable, but impressive.
He's in the top 8. I'm not.
That's facts.
He's in the top 8.
Because of decisions like that. That was, the -2 forward heavy kick. You want to try to take your turn? I mean, you pay for it dearly.
Spinner bird kick would have made a little bit more sense. But he said, nah, you know what? I want the big bucks.
Yeah.
I want the Benjamin Franklins. I want to take all of it. And do you know what's crazy? He said, I don't want the round. I want your dignity with it as a side dish.
The mental damage to carry over into the next round. Beautiful stuff.
So I believe that means Froze has exited the tournament, comes 9th. So that was one of the places he got last year. TKR back in the top 8, showing that consistency as well. I mean, if that's any indication to people at home or the other competitors in the top 8, just be careful. He might do that to you tomorrow if you're not careful. He might do that to you, so please be careful. But yeah, I mean, let's take a quick look at the bracket once again. I believe unfortunate there, you don't want to bow out like that, but just judging by how TKO is going, it's going to be super. But yes, what a way to end this segment.
Yeah, we got 3 more matches to go in the round 2 of top 16 losers, right? Junior Leo, James, Akainu, Freya, Link, and Valmaster, all heavy-hitting matches. I can't believe that some of these players are not actually going to make top 8. It is going to be a barn burner for sure. We are going to take a quick break right here, but before that, of course, I want to give another shout-out to Street Fighter Duel, the authorized mobile game from Capcom, now available for download in China with a global version coming soon. The Epic Legend is reborn on mobile. You all know what it is. Download Street Fighter Duel now. Let's fight for each other and join the millions of players to become the very best fighter.
I can guarantee you one thing about Street Fighter Duel: Chun-Li cannot do what TKR just did. That's not going to be in the game. You can play it on your mobile, but you can't do what TKR just did. That's a French exclusive. And what I tell you about French defense, that was a defensive option.
See, but what if they put that in the French version of Street Fighter Duel? Then at least they have to deal with it.
What they need to do with Street Fighter Duel is they need to put tracksuits.
Okay.
They need to put tracksuits in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, so I actually got this wrong last week. I got it wrong, so I'm going to try and get this right now. I thought... Here's what I thought.
I definitely believe you.
I thought, right? This is why you can't take my word for gospel. Trust me, don't trust me. I say it all the time. Here's the thing. I thought they were going to add another color to the winning character CBT to give you 11 tracksuit colors. No, what they're doing is, whichever character wins that weekend, you get that tracksuit for free if you haven't purchased it already. I believe that's what they're doing.
Okay.
I believe that's what they're doing. But I'm just like, I thought you just give me another color. I just drop you an email real quick, like get these color coordinations done here. But yeah, because I saw the tweet they put, I said, oh yeah, shouts to Samurai, XSK, and Four Fields for winning. And they just showed the tracksuit color selections.
That's right. Okay, yeah, because the tracksuit colors are part of like the new season, right? The new in addition colors.
At least that's to my understanding. If I've got it wrong again, then you might as well just sack me. Like, you might as well just get rid of me for these segues and these ads. But anyway, please, if you haven't got any of these tracksuits, it's the talk of the town right now. These are some of the most used costumes.
Yeah, and the new colorways that they've added are definitely super sick. There's a lot of characters whose tracksuits I'm a big fan of. You can see the black, yellow, red, the Luke. Everybody looks dope right there. So definitely big ups to the new colors that were added. And of course, we'll see who gets released for free or some new colors added for free this week when we crown a champion for the Spain, France, and Portugal region. We are in top 16. We got one more leg to go. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Capcom Fighters to conclude day 1 and see who's all in top 8 for day 2.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
I guess it's time to start warming up.
Fear my strength. Have a taste of this. Don't take this personal. I'll show no mercy. This is for my fellow hunters.
All riders have to strike out on their own.
Let's do this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's CPT. We are here progressing through the top 16 for France, Spain, and Portugal. We're trying to determine who will be our final 8 combatants. And then tomorrow, we're going to see who qualifies for the Cup. We've had some interesting plays. We've seen the French defense. We've seen the exclusive gameplay only found in Europe.
Indeed.
Listen, your people don't be doing that.
I've never seen that in my life.
I'm telling you, if you want to see that, you got to see archives. I'm sure the match will be uploaded to YouTube maybe in a couple of days' time, and then you guys can go like, TKR, I'm your biggest fan. And he's going to be like, well, I'm going to do it to you too.
Yeah, he definitely gained a few fans with that decision for sure.
That's crazy. But yes, we're going to be going through the last 3 matches of today's top 16, rounding out today. Now, TKR is the first combatant going into the top 8 losers side. Now, he's going to be awaiting his opponent, which will be either Junior Leo or James 2088. Luke versus Alex. We got to say, Junior Leo lost to Crimson earlier today pretty convincingly, arguably the best player in France. But James 88, we mentioned it before. Yeah. Marvelous losers run he's on bench.
Absolutely. Starting from the very first round of losers, right? Lost his first match of the day, has made it to a top 8 qualifying match up against Junior Leo, one of the premier players out there in Europe. And I mean, James, though, he's won over my heart. This is the guy that I'm rooting for the most to make top 8 here, showing out on the Alex, really bringing it to the forefront. We know the character's on the rise, right? Very explosive, very entertaining character. Junior Leo, on the other hand, I think is going to try to tame that explosiveness up a little bit, whether it be with the Luke or the Ken. I think the Ken can kind of get bullied by the Alex, to be honest with you, so I'm looking for the Luke in this matchup.
I think he'll go with, you know, because Ken's pretty strong as well, but obviously we've spoken about this before and we'll recite the same lines for the next, 8 to 9 months. Is Luke is arguably the best character in the game. He's got everything at his disposal there. He's got the vitality. The stun's been toned down as well. He's got the projectile. Can be a little bit of a problem for Alex, but if he wants to try out Ken and throw him off, he can do. But again, I think there's a story to be told. There's a narrative we're setting for you guys right now. Is can James make top 8 via coming through from losers? But again,
all the way.
This is probably his biggest hurdle because it is a Luke player in Junior Leo. Now, he does play Ken. He used to play Seth, but he's put Seth down. And I think he's been having a lot of fun with Luke with the charged flash knuckles and whatnot. So this is crazy. And somebody in my ear has given me information that they didn't disclose before. But I must tell you, it's in the picture. Oh, I thought that was a...
I didn't know what it was. I thought he left his water bottle in the picture or something.
I thought that was a Magnum. the Magnum ice cream? Apparently...
We don't have that here.
Apparently... Oh, you don't have that here?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm going home. Anyway... apparently, James's hand is actually broken, so he's playing with a broken hand. I was like, damn, you really love Street Fighter that much?
What's his peripheral? I want to know what he plays on now.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. That just proves to you can play Alex with one hand.
And be on the verge of making top 8.
You're not helping your case here. You're not helping your case, right? Apparently, I've been told that's what the voice of reason in our ears has told me. Is that apparently James's hand is broken, and he said it's in the picture. I'm like, that looked like an ice cream bar to me, but I didn't ask.
Okay. Oh, these joints. Okay. We have those here. We have those here. Okay,
cool.
we have those here. Okay,
anyway, listen, we're rambling on. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get Luke versus Alex sorted. Again, still first to 2 territory. I spoke to Problem X a little bit about this matchup before, but that was like early when we were talking about the patch that just came out. I think he'd still prefer Bison over this one, and for Problem X's case, James has only got Alex here. He tried to do flash chops before against his previous opponent, Jay Killer. These are a different breed of projectiles. There's an EX version of, obviously there's the EX version of Metallic Sapphire. Then there's the V-Trigger 1 version. I wouldn't risk it.
Okay.
He might change V systems, or he might feel comfortable with V-Skill 1 and V-Trigger 1. I think it all really lies on his just his V system. I wouldn't be surprised though if Leo picks Suppressor, the V-Skill 2, because of throws. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that would be sick. We did, that was, I think, the talk of the town when the game first started was, oh my goodness, he's got like an anti-throw V-Skill. But yeah, we've seen that his V-Skill 1 has been so reliably strong that a lot of the time you can more control the game.
Okay. It looks like, it looks like he's picked V-Trigger 2, James, so he's gone for a switch.
Okay, that's what we wanted to see, honestly, in the first match.
And here's the thing, I think one of the things we spoke about this before, the zoners kind of give him a hard time, Dawson being probably arguably his worst matchup, good boot, the Doc Martens hit him in the face. But here's the thing where, if you have as many command goes as possible, even if they're comboed into, you're forcing Luke to do something. What a round start here.
I can't believe that command grab stunned. That's why my jaw dropped.
Just grab him again.
Oh, yeah.
Just grab him again. There's no reason not to do it. Even if he jumped forward, there's no reason. How that round is gone, just grab him again.
I love that, too. He made sure he put the jab on him, too, just to make sure that if you're holding up at the wake-up, you can't do that. You got to really hard commit if you want to get out of this.
Oh, he's going to, he's going to wrist slash elbow.
Yeah, you can see it again real quick.
What would I do if I was Junior Leo? I wouldn't charge up B-skill. I'd walk forward. I'd walk forward and probably with crouch jab.
Oh, that was nice.
Stun's coming. He wanted the stun.
On the verge of stun now, 1 hit away. Oh, yeah, that should be the round because of the 1 hit of stun. Charge up that flash knuckle. Yes, sir. Nice. I want to correct myself earlier as well. I said a flash knuckle that was -2 was plus frames. I forgot.
The fully charged version is +2. Obviously, the V-Skill one is +4, I think, the heavy one.
Something like that, yeah.
Because obviously the frame data changes depending on if you've stored or not, and then obviously negative to positive. And he tried to wake up with slash elbow, no dice, but good back medium punch into the light. Level 2 flash knuckle. Wow, this pressure. Stun? Yeah. He's got him. He's not dead though.
No, definitely not. James still has another chance. He definitely can rob this round.
Oh, that was a frame kill, by the way.
That was a really neat frame kill, honestly. It was one of those, especially because that V-Skill, it kind of has those dead frames where it looks like he's still animating, but you can recover.
Yeah.
So that's like a really good frame kill because at that moment, just visually, you think you can press something when he's actually recovered already.
I like that he stored it well just in case for the extra plus frames, which he did. He went for heavy flash knuckle again. Now that leaves you at +2 frame advantage, but you're not in throw range. When you do the -2 one, you are, but it's not your turn.
Okay.
When you do the +2 one, you got the frame advantage, but you're not there.
Gotcha.
And he went for a crouch short afterwards. So pretty interesting stuff there from Junior Leo. After the explosive start James had, he still has something to offer though.
Yeah, real good adjustments, I think, from Leo, controlling the neutral much heavier. I want to see James, what's he going to do to kind of practice defense that Junior Leo's putting up? We talked about that wall of offense.
Good check there. Slash elbow gets the counter hit confirmed. He didn't have any meter to get the EX flash drop from the light kick, so gonna get a grab, stand hard kick maybe? No.
Already in the corner now. He's not even going for the stand light kick for the +1 after the throw.
Don't even need to with that. And anti-air with the lariat misses his follow-up because Luke was too high. And now he's trapped in the corner. He's going to have to fight his way out. Or do that.
Yeah, just jumped out successfully here. Just get the knockdown. We got a V-trigger activate.
Press a button and you've lost.
That's why he's staying disciplined. Not trying to get caught flinching, protecting the legs as well. Forcing his way in with an EX, but pushed right back out.
I wouldn't be surprised if James felt desperate and wanted to do a DDT. He's not dead, don't worry. He's going to charge up hard shot, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, one more again.
Yeah, he didn't have the health and he didn't have the mental patience to walk the whole way. You're not going to do it. And his anti-projectile to his armor.
For sure. It was a rough situation, and it just amplified by knowing that fact, and that means your mental is just going to keep deteriorating.
All right, there we go. Gonna get the follow-up here with the crouching fist. Couldn't do anything. Rising upper to take it there. Oh, that must have been the +1 version. Back medium punch. God damn, that's looking rough. Oh, that's it. Oh, man, that's gonna be it. The Rising Rocket gonna close it out there. Clinical performance, straightforward and textbook as it can be for Junior Leo and his Luke. Commiserations to James 2088.
Yeah.
Close but no cigar. What a run.
Indeed, definitely. Like we mentioned before, from losers round 1, James got all the way here for a top 8 qualifying match. Fell short up against Junior Leo, and I mean, Junior Leo really showed why he's one of the premier players of the region, it felt like. James, I think his strategy was a lot of gambits, a lot of situations where he was going to bet on certain options, and if they bet correctly, then Alex can kind of snowball and take the whole round, right? That's what I kind of got from his game plan, while Junior Leo was very much like the high-level fighting game player style, right? Where he's like, I'm going to pick Luke, I'm going to make sure I pick a character that can control the neutral, that doesn't put me in these risky, reckless situations that I can lose the round off of, and really just played a prime game.
All right, so Junior Leo, he finds himself returning to the top 8 after so long. I have to double-check the results. I think he made the top 8 last year, but again, good stuff there from Luke from start to finish, and we'll be seeing him tomorrow in the top 8. Yeah, he came 5th place and 9th place last year, so consistency is showing once again with another strong French player. So now, we're going to be moving on to the next match in the loser side, which should be... It was Freya going up against...
Akainu.
Yes, that's it. Oh, it's Battle of the Sonic Booms. Perfect. Battle of the Sonic Booms, indeed. So, Guile got, again, toned down a little bit and certain things changed. I know Akainu goes through these phases where... At least from my perspective, he'll think Guile is weak, and it's like he's not going to be weak in this game. He's going to be weaker than he was before, because again, like there was a season 3, maybe season 4, he was riding high, he was in prime time. But again, he's still a solid character. You know, Daigo continues to show that. Akainu himself continues to show that. But like I said, he's been bouncing around the houses with other characters. But you're most likely going to be seeing Guile here against Freya.
I don't know if I've ever told you, Jammers.
Talk to me.
But Guile is the character I hate fighting the most across all fighting games.
That's why you're here next to me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, the Street Fighter V, you got a good addition of Guile. I got no chance here. So that's what Akainu continues to bring to the table, right? Like, he's always been so consistent with that character. While Freya, on the other hand, we've seen the rise of Nash again. It's good to see it. After Nash had such the spotlight in Season 1, had a great run in that that era of the game, just disappeared, just off the map for about 4 seasons, finally back here. And in a cool way, I think we talked about the V-Trigger 2 being able to just oppress opponents, really mix them up heavily. He's got some cool quality of life changes as well. The target combo or the follow-up off the stand light kick, the fact that he has a 3-frame button in the first place. He's just such a better character all around now, and in a way that I think makes seeing him in the high-level meta very interesting.
Obviously, they're trying to make characters as unique and showcase their individuality as much as possible. But again, this is just a Jammer's perspective, just a weird hot take. I can't help but, yeah.
Oh. What?
I told you he's bouncing around the houses.
What did you didn't? Did you mention this house?
I never mentioned his dad. No.
The bounce house?
We didn't go to the straw house. We didn't go to the straw house. All right. Okay. It looks like he's going to take this by surprise. I like that he's gone with the Dan pick just to give us a more entertainment factor. Against Nash, not a good idea.
Yeah, it definitely leaves me a little perplexed just in the matchup, but if he can catch Freya off guard, just kind of run the offensive Dan game, what a bet on the EX Dan kicks right there.
I guess he loves the taunt cancels.
Yeah, oh yes, the sweep gets the knockdown, back tech that was plus frames, but we challenge it.
Damn, he mashed, and then the side swap, that's going to be a big punish here. That's not going to kill because Dan's damage output is laughable, I'll tell you that much. Shimmy!
But Akainu sending a message right now with that first round. Complete domination.
Well, I'm hoping we don't get another Masky to Beast situation where it's you're a one-trick pony.
Yeah?
It's working right now, though.
Ooh. Yeah, and Akainu backing up to that spot. I was just going to say the EX Dan kicks. That's what he was looking for last time.
This is what Freya does, and I see a lot of Nash players do this. They all just whiff crouch jab, they whiff stand jab, because any move that travels fast as EX or just like covers a lot of ground, they want to stop you from doing that. Crush counters can stop it, but again, at that range, it probably wouldn't catch it in time.
Yeah, low risk as well if you're just pressing the lights, just in case he actually doesn't end up doing it. Akainu, though, sitting on that V-trigger, trying to find that spot to activate. No anti-air there.
Crouch counter.
Ooh, how?
Dunretsuken there. Can we get an activation of some sorts? He wants that trigger 2 activation, but so does Freya. He bites first. That could have been a cross count.
Yeah, and I love that right there. He actually tried to shimmy once he landed, right? You saw the walk in, walk out, but Freya had good defense, not biting.
Plus frames, that's +2 on block. You've got to respect that. The muscle memory with Dan is probably not quite there in terms of defensive situations, but that is a plus situation, that Justice Corridor.
Oh, this time cutting off the second fireball.
All right. Kyaku straight to the corner. No uppercut there from Akainu again, but throws him back into the corner.
Ooh, gets under that, or over that, I should say, low crushes.
Is he going to do a wake-up scythe, or is he going to leave it? Oh, he tried! I think he tried!
He definitely did.
Oh, man, that's going to be the game! Do you know what? What I'm going to do is, because we only saw an EX move.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on CFN late and see his input. So I need to confirm with myself that I called it right.
So what would the EX scythe have beaten there?
I believe it's throw invincible.
Oh.
So I think he was going
he
to
was betting on the throw.
Yeah. And then he had trigger 2.
Gotcha.
So if he tried to shimmy him, you would have done EX scythe, activate to trigger 2. That's one of the more flexible routes for him into stealth dash v trigger 2. That's what I'm thinking. I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
I think somebody's gone back to the character select screen.
It sounds like it. But like for a character like that, or in a situation like Freya was in, I like a big defensive bet like that. You know what I mean? You know, like the fact that like just blocking it out or getting a jab or something like that, it's not going to turn the round around enough to really make it so you're going to get the W. Like I like the big bet, the EX, because you said the V-Trigger 2 cancel can go into it from there, and we see how much the V-Trigger 2 can just kind of wipe away the opponent's game plan. So I do like that, but better stuff from Akainu on the Dan, man, just looking super smooth.
Yeah, so this is a character he plays. I have seen him like dabble. I wasn't expecting him to bring it out in a CPT, so sorry for not providing all the information. Okay, he's gone with VCO 1 and Trigger 1.
Wow.
I think he wants to rely less on I need to come back, maybe more V reversals, V shifts, because I did say this before, the V system beats him, but because that 3-bar V trigger Nash, you don't want to let that go.
Yeah, true. We talked about how potent it is as well, right? So switch up, and this is a great start for Freya.
V shift. I think that's the OS sweep.
Yeah.
I think that's what Nash's go-to option selectors against V shifts, at least when they whiff.
All right. Post it up once again, Akainu.
It's looking a lot better here for Freya. Slowing it down just a little bit. Again, I don't know as well probably what the teleport will be used for. Maybe for combo applications. I'm not sure if there's anything in neutral attach.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's an escape from the corner because he has been getting oppressed a little bit.
Yeah.
By Dan. Oh my goodness, we see Akainu so disciplined with his defense, not biting on any of that, backdashing afterwards.
Yeah, that looked like a gimmick to me, but it didn't work out. And he's just throwing out all the moonsaults, none of them being checked. It can be difficult for a couple of players to do that, but...
Nice challenge from Freya right there. It's a little bit difficult to tell if that was plus or not, but my goodness, got him flinching right there with the crouch.
Okay. Sometimes just that change of V system, even if you're not going to use them liberally as you did before, your previous set, that could be a big deal.
Yeah, it at least changes your mindset, right? Changes your perspective. You don't have to worry about trying to utilize that V-Trigger 2 as much as you might have beforehand.
Oh, didn't get a stand hard kick anti-air. Is that the wrong range for that to work? So he's going to take an EX down Retz again, straight to the corner of a Danku Kyaku, and here comes the taunt cancels. He is panicking.
My man was like, I'm not having any of that. Going with the EX bust out.
We trade on the Sonic Boom.
Now Freya has that V-Trigger again. Ooh, trade. Nice.
He's trying to make sure he's not grounded to deal with this pressure, but the problem is you put yourself in an even more perilous situation than you did before. Throw will close it out. He tried to frame trap him.
Good stuff. Pretty much smelled that Freya was willing to just sit there, down back. Finally came up with a throw and put himself on set point.
Nah, he got him. He literally stamped a flag in his brain. He said, this is my territory. He got him.
Rent free. Already in the corner with that crush counter as well. That was so good. I kind of recognized it. He tried that shimmy the first time Freya walked or jumped out, and ever since they've just been throwing it.
Oh, here we go. I don't think he's going to do a V-shift. He's going to try and tech and probably break out. Oh, he's trying to run away, Ridge.
No. Not your time. V-reversal. Ooh, chase down again. He still had to deal with this pressure. Good throw tech. Tried the sweep. It was just out of range. No confirm.
Right. If he can just surprise with an EX Dan kicks from that range, that might do it. Doesn't need to.
You saw Freya was trying some type of anti-air at the end afterwards from that fireball, but did not recover in time to stuff it. Akainu taking it 2-0 on the Dan.
Whew, what a surprise pick there. Something even I wasn't expecting from the European player here himself. And again, he advances into the top 8, like you said, with that surprise down pick. If anyone is going to be perplexed and really surprised, it's going to be Freya.
Yeah.
He probably had like an inkling it might be a possibility, but at the same time, it's like, nah. Probably gonna pick Guile, maybe Rashid.
It's CPT. There's one chance for each region, like, and 2 out of 3.
Listen, I said this last week. I'm bringing dirt to a boxing match.
Yeah.
If I only had one chance to qualify for something, I'm bringing dirt to a boxing match. I don't care.
The
But
loaded
yes,
gloves.
that is going to be that for our penultimate match there. Akainu is going to be waiting in the top 8 loser side for his opponent, which will be our final match of the day. Before we recap everything on the other side, it's going to be Link Exelo going up against Valmaster. Could be Luke versus Chun. It could be Nikali versus Chun. Like, Valmaster ain't changing characters. That pick is cemented there with Chun-Li.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hypothetically, who would you prefer to see against Valmaster's Chun?
Against Valmaster's Chun, we saw the Maldominate Urian earlier, so neither of the characters actually presented. Nikali or Luke. I mean, I'd like to see the Nikali just to see how prepared Valmaster is for this version of Nikali, right? That's another character that's kind of fallen by the wayside a lot. Has gotten some buffs, has gotten some love in the most recent patch, so we see him back on the rise. We see plenty of people messing with him. I saw Yipes streaming a new Nikali account. I know Punk used...
Shout out to Yipes.
Yeah, Punk used Nikali, I think, at Texas Showdown for one match, but he used like 7 characters at that tournament. So, yeah, definitely on the rise again. I'd like to see it just to see how prepared Valmaster is. But I think Valmaster is one of those guys that, as you mentioned, has been on the grind recently, has really been trying to get back to prime form. And on the Chun-Li, I think Nikali will have a hard time. So, just because of the unfamiliarity, I'd like Nikali, but I think the overall more stable pick in the matchup is, of course, Luke.
Well, we'll see. And also as well, Link Exelo, he might have had a couple of ranked matches, maybe a training session in between, because the person who's actually first on stream in the CPT's top 16 is actually the last person to play if they lose.
Yes,
so
exactly.
their hands are going to be extremely cold. And, you know, you could be anxious at that point because it's like, okay, I technically have 2 chances to qualify for top 8.
Yeah.
The first opportunity, he squandered.
Yeah.
And then you got the last opportunity. It's like, well, I've got no choice now. And some players, they do play better when their back's against the wall,
for sure,
or they only got 1 chance left. Now, I've seen both of these guys have these losers runs in Salt Mine Leagues or just in other tournaments in general, and they can pretty much go the distance. But I think, if anything, the indication that Link Exelo, some of the choices he made on defense against kills you, especially in the first 2 high-pressure situations, it would tell you anything. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake twice, switch it up. I know it's going to be a different character. I haven't actually heard his personal thoughts on Chun-Li, this version of the game, but like I said, a lot of the French guys here, they're in Discord calls and they talk to each other about their own games. Heck, they probably went in the Discord call today.
Honestly, I hope that he has been, because I think a lot of the time is so we are going to see that in the Nikali. I think what you brought up is a great point, and having that first match of the day and losing, so you get the last match of the day, it's a very tough draw, and the anxiety, the mental pressure can definitely get up there. So I hope he has been in a Discord call with some people, just try to keep his mind fresh and not so bogged down.
Words of encouragement, you know the deal.
Yeah.
Oh, nice crush kind of sweep. I know it's a bit haphazard as the approach came about, but listen, we'll take it. He's got one of the fastest sweeps in the game anyway.
True.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something else as well. Link Exelo has a very similar roster to Phenom. Valmaster plays a lot of Phenom.
Okay.
So he's going to be comfortable in this matchup.
All right, well, if that's the case, yeah, the colleague going to be looking maybe a little bit long for this world.
All right, V skill 1, trying to activate there. I don't think he's going to be able to get back throw, but good V break, keep him there. Trust me, V reversal and V shift against his V trigger self, Nikali. That is pretty potent against him as well.
Valmaster been so on point with those back heavy kick anti-airs as well. Oh, with that crouch. Fear's actually getting interrupted.
Yeah, he preemptively pressed the button. It worked out, so I like it.
Oh, caught him flinch at the last moment. Just saw Chun-Li flying through the air, and he didn't know what to do.
Watch out for the stomp. Always watch out for the stomp.
Yeah, Valmaster, I think, got caught. Just thinking about whether it be the high or the low, ends up getting thrown.
All right, we've got CA though. And I know that, like, you know, the medium punches, Nikali pretty much gets okay for anything he does now. Some of the new changes he got. And he can do his Raging Light Uppercut into CA as well. He's got more reach into CA, but again, a lot of these matchups, the neutral factor was still, you know, the biggest concern, the biggest crux in his gameplay.
And you're trying to stomp it out here. There's really prime spacing from the Nikali. You can see he actually cashed out all that great damage with the ground pound as well. That's big.
All right, going to do Valiant Rebellion, trying to get those plus frames, but good frame advantage, or sorry, good V reversal there from Valmaster. He's still got CA, so he wants to be fierce into CA now, or can hit confirm or something, and now's a good time.
Yeah, he's staying pretty disciplined about what he's looking for, though. Just the crouch medium kick, no big buttons like the stand fierce or the stand heavy kick. You know, the Stand Fierce in the CA is the Chun-Li Classic, and my man Valmaster has been doing that for a decade plus at this point for Street Fighter V and beyond. Gonna put Nikali on live support.
No, he went for a safe meaty with the light Koken. No empty jump there. You used to see TKR do that a lot, but one poke will do it. Maybe a light. But be careful, they're heavy though, as Ringe mentioned before. That's what he's looking for. That's what he wants.
Oh, and right there you see the heels, the smoke, the dust just coming off on the heels of Chun-Li as she moves right past that. The Stand Fierce, always a potent button to close it out.
See, here's the thing as well, right? It's because people they were so fixated on Chun-Li's stand hard punch. It did get toned down. Hurtbox been adjusted, but again, if you don't make it whiff, there was no real problem, right? And then now, remember, like Chun-Li's coming in that range, the Fierce connects, and you got to deal with the newly buffed Crouching hard punch, and everyone's like, hang on, you know, there's a stand hard kick's been there for 5 years, you know? And it's like, ooh, what button do we deal with now? So it's very hard to kind of slowly adjust your space and really work around certain things, especially with a character like Nikali. He's got good damage output, he's got good counter pokes, but overall, having to deal with that and trying to initiate your game, super difficult.
So this was something I was thinking about when I was watching Topanga yesterday.
Talk to me.
Over one for Valmaster is that, you know, with how good everybody is gotten at Street Fighter V and how potent people are at high level, with extremely good footsie-based characters like a Chun-Li or a Karin or whoever it might be, I think Luke is very good because he has those normals that advance him forward, right?
Yes.
And you get in a range in Street Fighter V a lot where you feel very uncomfortable pressing anything because, like, you pressing something, you're just outside of your optimal range while your opponent's in their optimal range. Wow.
Yes.
So a lot of the time, I think you need something forward advancing so you can move into that optimal range with an active hitbox, right?
I respect that.
So that's kind of where my thought process was. But a Buki of all characters, I didn't know this was coming.
No, good breakdown there, Ringe. Yeah, this is another one of his characters. We didn't mention it today because he hasn't actually been using Ibuki as of recent. Nikali.
Okay, yeah.
All his characters got buffed, but like, he's been having, I think, more fun with Nikali and Luke. But I feel because of the situation he's in right now, Ibuki might be called upon. Now it's just shift. It's a night shift, but now he's called upon.
For sure, and she's one of those characters that is going to present some issues for Chun-Li, keeping her out, right? She's got some ways to alter her trajectory in the air. Ooh, the kunai just getting right past the fireball, and we can see Link really utilizing all these things that Nikali didn't have to get in on Valmaster.
Yeah, you know, Fuma Shuriken back to being plus on block. When you activate, he's got the hit, going to confirm and end it with the Shuriken. And the target combo there. Got a new move with the EX special step that goes in the air. Makabishi V skill 2 got changed. She's got some cool changes, man, honestly. But she's just not talking to town.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of shiny toys that people are kind of enamored with at the moment. And Luki, not one of them.
You know? Send it back to the shop. Keep it in the plastic.
Yeah, but now breaking it out right now, it's looking like it's paying off, to be quite honest. Link is looking very comfortable.
There goes with V skill 1, really trying to catch Valmaster's buttons in check, trying to catch him with those spacing traps there. Not really working out. Good air to air with the jump fierce.
That V-skill is also pretty, I think, decent in this matchup just because it's such a long-range option of his Chun-Li.
He's got to be careful, though, because if he misspaces that's going to be EX legs.
Yeah,
well, that could be a stand hard kick from Valmaster himself, so.
Ooh, risking the slide in. Of course, V-Trigger on deck as well. Wants to find an activation point. He's going to take the damage.
All right, let's wait for this round to pan out. Gets the V-break there. He gets a little bit more frame advantage because it was connected on an airborne opponent, but he's looking like Valmaster's rounds.
That was so good. That stand heavy kick was round winning because I have to imagine Link was looking for that EX kunai, starting to force his way in, and have the V-Trigger on deck. Like, perfectly timed stand heavy kick from Valmaster.
All right, yeah, he's not sure what button to try and counter poke. Obviously, he's trying to consider, execution error is going to be big damage.
Oh, no.
Ibuki's got low vitality, so this is big. 2 throws and you're in trouble. Oh, there's one. And Valmaster's corner game with Chun-Li is some of the most scariest I've seen in the community.
That's why I'm a little surprised. Oh, he backed off, but what a call out on that air kunai.
Watch out for the shimmy. He wants to confirm anything into CA, and that will close it out. Link Exelo's on his last legs. Right, he's got 2 resets.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Right, here comes the second one. Oh no, he's going to go for the knockdown.
Takes the damage. Oh, catches the pressing buttons on the verge of sundown. Takes the throw and gets it. You're seeing stars, but are you seeing L's? We got one more reset to go. Just takes the damage. Ooh, doesn't get caught flinching this time. Blocks the kunai the right direction. Valmaster gonna get in the top 8 off that. Beautiful blocks. The experience coming through once again.
The discipline and that mental fortitude, knowing your opponent is slowly coming back. And the thing is, I thought he's going to do something when it was right at the death there for the stun, but he didn't. And even then, what's crazy about that, if he had one more game to kind of analyze that, it's like Valmaster sat there. What was he doing the whole time? Anytime Link Exelo took to the skies and you resorted to the kunai option, he air-to-aired him. Bit finicky with the scenario, but he done it. And then right at the death, he just said, you know what? I'm firming it. If we got to play another game, so be it. But you know what? Almost got it with the Ibuki pick to kind of equalize. And even then, like, that was the character you wanted to bow out with. So unfortunate for Link Exelo because he's been making these top 8s in the CPT, but the characters just weren't quite there. The bracket luck, the characters just weren't making the cut, you know. So commiserations there to Link Exelo. It's good that we got to see, you know, the Nakali and the Ibuki.
For sure.
But yeah, how did you feel about it?
Man, I'm very impressed with just the fact that Valmaster blocked that at the end, right? You've heard like James Chen, a lot of us have been like, bruh, that is unblockable. Oh, wow. Like the classic Ibuki dive into the kunai, not actually crossing you up, hitting you in front. And the fact that Valmaster was ready for that, right? Considering Ibuki is an underrepresented character nowadays, I don't know how much he like plays against Ibuki on the regular. He might have a training partner that he still plays Ibuki a lot that I'm unaware of, but he looks so ready at the end. And not even, I guess, so ready for the matchup, but over the course of that one match, he just looked like he was absorbing the information, remembering how to play the matchup, and just was excellent from start to finish.
Yeah. Good stuff, fantastic clinical stuff there from Valmaster. Well played. He finds himself in the top 8. Last time he entered, he came 9th place. Before that, he didn't enter at all because he was still on his break. But he's letting people know he's hit the ground running and he's still a force to be reckoned with in the European region, not just in his respective CPT. So well played to Valmaster. He'll be going up against Akainu tomorrow. So that was our final match of the day. We've concluded the top 16. I mean, overall, did you like the French exclusivity?
Oh, yeah.
Featuring a sprinkle of some Spanish players there? Do you enjoy that?
Definitely. It was my right type of spice, 100%, when it comes to the fighting games.
I've got to say as well, I like the damn picks.
Yeah,
I like the damn picks.
The damn picks, the Alex. I thought it was entertaining from start to finish.
Obviously, we'll talk about more of this when we come back on the other side of this break as well. But yes, no more matches today. So if you are just tuning in, I like to be the bearer of bad news. No more matches today. You're gonna have to catch the archives on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters or Capcom Fighters. Just type on YouTube, and it'll be the first thing that shows up on the YouTube page. There's actually something right up there that you can go. That's Capcom Europe, but just find that funny symbol on YouTube, and you'll find the archives there. But yes, we have got to do one final plug-in for my peoples. So they make sure they bring me back for more jobs. I'm kidding. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard Rin speak about it. He's laughing right now. I'm going to let him laugh while I do this thing. We've been speaking about it all day. But yes, we play games on our mobiles, and you should be playing games on your mobiles too. But yes, there will be a Street Fighter duel game coming soon for a global release. It is available in China right now. And they've actually added a new stage along with new artworks as well. But please keep this on the horizon. There's a QR code if you are a Chinese viewer, of course. And like we said, a global version will be releasing soon. I know, I keep saying it. You're like, Jammers, it's not here. I'm like, it's in our hearts. It's in our spirits. And what I need you to do is make sure your phone doesn't die or you get an upgrade in the next year or so. And we will get you playing Street Fighter Duel. Like we said, there is a variety of fighting styles, an impressive array of fighting elements, your counters, your stuns, your combos, and your supers. It wants to offer you a new battle experience. I can tell you something though, you're not going to see TKR doing some sort of weird thing into Chun-Li's ultimate move. I can tell you that much. But do keep an eye out for Street Fighter Duel. And let's not forget, Ringe, we're still in CPT season, right?
Oh, most definitely, Jammers. And we are going to be taking a quick break from CPT Online, but when we come back, it is going to be NA Midwest time, baby. Registration closing May 30th. It is open, or it is going to be opening soon, so make sure as soon as that does open to go on over if you're in that respective region, and make sure to sign up and compete. Again, this is going to be the week after Combo Breaker. You can see streams June 4th and June 5th. Capcom doing their due diligence, letting Combo Breaker rock. CPT free online, and that is for the event, so that way everybody can get their eyes glued to the premier tournament of that weekend in Combo Breaker. And I'm excited for it because, of course, that is going to be following the Midwest West Coast 5v5, and I want to see if Midwest is going to be there to just brag and flex on everybody, or if they got something to prove and are going to have a little chip on their shoulder from taking an L to the West Coast. We will all find that out and more as the June dates approach. Again, registration opening soon, closing at the end of May, so if you're in that respective region, get on it. Capcom.us/NAMW.
Nice. Well played there. And as you can see, this is what the tournament schedule is looking like for the next month or so. NA Midwest, as Ringe has been promoting, the registration period should still be open or will be opening up soon for the Japanese region. They've only got one chance, just like everybody else. They're humans, they're mortal, just like everybody else. It's going to be sugar, spice, and everything nice. They're going to be scrambling with each other. They're going to be like, happy to be here. I'm like, not really. You don't want to fight that guy in the first of two. And it's like, anyone can make the top 16. Anyone can make the top 8. But very few people are going to qualify for that cup. And don't worry. CPT Online is not the end of the world. There's going to be other events this year. So let's see how that pans out. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it from us. We are going to take one final break. And when we come back, we're just going to summarize and conclude today's event and get ourselves mentally prepared for day 2, which is tomorrow, to see who qualifies for the Capcom Cup. So give us 5 minutes. We'll be back with you very shortly.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to defeat. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
If I go too far, please forgive me.
My name is Seth. Bow down before my cycle. It's time for trial. Show me everything. Download.
This will do.
Ultimate Cycle Russia. See what I'm really made of. I'll settle this. It's the end. Let's go.
The finale! You can't escape!
If I go too far, please forgive me.
I promise you it's coming.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to the Capcom Pro Tour. We are repping Spain, France, and Portugal today, and our top 16 is actually in the books. Hope everyone had a good time joining myself and Jammers for the action, and it was dope, man. It was a lot of familiar faces. Everybody showed out the way they should, but a lot of players that are back on the up-and-coming, like Valmaster as well, getting back to prominence, getting back to their prime. It's been dope to see just your flourish and how the top 16 played out today.
Yeah, do you know what? Shout outs to the guys from France, Spain. Obviously, no real Portugal representation.
Yeah.
I think Freya is from Portugal, but he lives in France. I could be wrong about that, but it was good to see the representation and, you know, different names, new faces in here representing for their region and, you know, getting that CPT result under their belt.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we look at the bracket of the top 16 today, see what transpired, just recap things a little bit. This is what happened in the winner's side. So Kills You, clinical performance, straightforward against Link Exelo, taking it 2-0. Vega Patch using the jury against Akainu. And that was against Akainu's Guile. We'll get on to who else Akainu picked later. But yeah, the jury pick, and it's working out, and it's coming along just fine. So I think Vega Patch is fine. And then, you know, going down, Mr. Crimson, another straightforward textbook performance. He beat Junior Leo pretty convincingly with the Dalsim versus Luke. Obviously, he has that insider knowledge because he does play Luke. That is his secondary himself. And then Luffy takes it over TKR 2-1 because moments before this, it was the exact same scoreline against Valmaster to qualify for the top 16 winner's side. Now, if we drop down into the losers bracket, this is where it got a little bit more spicy, as Rinj would say, a little bit more explosive. So we had two Dan appearances here. Froze against Masky the Beast. It's 2-1. Unfortunately, couldn't go the distance. Good adaptations from Froze. James, he lost round 1 against Verdoyence's Rose, as I mentioned before, and he made an incredible losers run, but he just fell short of the wayside. Yeah. Lo and behold, it was against Luke. Shout out to Junior Leo anyway. No disrespect, but obviously, what a way to end your run if that's how it's going to be. Freya won, man. I know this is probably the first or second time you've seen him play. Yeah. So hopefully you were impressed by
most definitely
what he showcased. But he got stopped in his tracks by Akainu surprise Dan pick. So
yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, right? Masky was our first Dan. Akainu being the second. We saw him play the Guile in that upper bracket, the winner's bracket top 16 match. But bringing out the Dan, kind of catching Freya off guard, really making sure that he implemented his game plan and didn't really let Freya ever play, right? We saw Freya switch up the V trigger, try to do something, try to alleviate that pressure that Dan was bringing. But Akainu, one of the best players in the region, and when he has those hard reads on his opponent, I mean, Dan's offense is potent enough to get the job done, and that's what happened.
That's what it is. That prevalency came in full effect. And like we said, Valmaster, he was pretty much fine. 2-0 against Mal Dominant. He looked a bit confused and like struggled with the strategy near the end of that set against Valmaster. And then Link Exelo, Nikali didn't work. So he went to his tertiary character. I'd like to call it his tertiary character right now, Ibuki. Almost was able to equalize. Didn't quite work out there. So yes, Link Exelo, Freya, James, Froze, Masky the Beast, J Killer, Loix, and Mal Dominant. They are no longer in this bracket. We have 8 final combatants, and that's what we're going to transition to right about now. Rinj, how you feeling about this top 8? I'll give you some more details in a minute, but I want to know how Rinj is feeling about this top 8.
I feel you. Man, I really am impressed with it from top to bottom. I don't know how the Kills You Vega patch match is going to go really at all, to be honest. I was expecting this to be Kills You versus Akainu, which would have been the run back of the second qualifier from last year of this region. But Vega patch bringing out that jury, I think throws a whole wrench into the game plan. I think that actually could be a good pick up against Kills You on the Karin as well. And we've seen Fong have some decent success up against Karin as well with Mono, right? Doing his thing with the character. And then Crimson and Luffy on the other side. I mean, we don't even really need to talk about that match. The names speak for themselves. 2 of the most iconic players of the region, 2 of the hottest players in the region. We obviously know in the pre-show, the guys, Rob TV and Brian F. were talking about how Crimson is still at the top of the mountain. Don't think that anybody is the best besides him right now. But if anyone has that claim, it would be Luffy, right? An Evo champion in his own right in Street Fighter 4 and has just been a monster in Street Fighter 5 throughout the game's lifespan. And, of course, has either the Mika to just overwhelm the Dalsim, or maybe he'll have something up his sleeve with the Rose. And then on the other side, Valmaster and Akainu and Junior Leo and TKR. I mean, these are all dope players from the region as well. I think this is a chance for them to really shine and make themselves diamonds under this pressure, right? They only have one chance of this region to qualify for Capcom Cup Online, and they want to get the job done. Valmaster is going to be trying to get back to prime form. Akainu's shown that he's able to get there in the past. Junior Leo and TKR are two of the best of the region as well, looking to show out and show up and elevate themselves in everyone's eyes.
Yeah, so there are 6 contenders here that can qualify for the Cup, but there's only one spot, right? And of course, Mr. Crimson and Luffy will mention this tomorrow. That'll be the run back of the first CPT Grand Finals. Mr. Crimson coming from the losing side. There's more history behind that, but I'll talk about it more tomorrow when I get my notes in check. Kills got, I wouldn't say it's a tall order. He's got options. He's got Mika, he's got Poison, and he's also got consider Vega Patch might pick Jury for maybe 1 or 2 games. We'll see. Mr. Crimson and Luffy, as well as the Valmaster and Akainu, for the other 4 players, a big favor has been done. Yeah. I think Kills if he does theoretically beat Vega Patch, he's going to want to fight probably Luffy over Crimson, because obviously we had Luffy and Kills on in the first of 10 in the set show. We could see Rose maybe tomorrow. At some point, I don't know what stage in the bracket for Luffy, it might be a consideration, but I think he'll go full in effect with the Mika pick. Will we see Akainu's Dan tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right up against Valmaster's Chun-Li, Akainu. Which character do you play Dan against today? It was against the Nash, correct?
So he won't. I don't think he'll pick Dan against Valmaster.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna try and do a one-hit wonder, you've only got 1 game to do that. I think he's gonna try and do that as textbook and be as efficient with that. And then afterwards, you might see the Dan. You might see another character. Junior Leo and TKR, they're wild cards for me personally, because TKR, well, I mean, you saw it earlier. He's a monkey wrench in the works. Yeah. But so. Need to be careful about that, but that's going to be another interesting set anyway. I think the highest placements both of these guys got was a 5th, so they're going to be fighting to try and equalize that spot, maybe go further than there. So yeah, that is pretty much how the bracket is going to be panning out tomorrow for the top 8. But like I said, my personal perspective, there's 6 contenders for 1 spot, and there's only room for 1 person from this region. 1 person from this region to qualify for the final. So hopefully you guys look forward to that. We're going to be here, same time, same place tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Hopefully they'll be as much more explosive as they were before. There is Spanish representation. But of course, it turned out to be France featuring Vega Patch.
It'd be like that.
That's what happens in the top 8, man. It's like you get Spanish representation in the top 16, and then when it comes to the top 8, Vega Patch is just a cut above the rest. Obviously, Froze featured in 1 or 2 before. Props to him. He almost got there again, but Vega Patch is showing you why, again, one of the best players in the region, featuring Street Fighter League. It wasn't a fluke. You know, he's here, and again, because now he's got a secondary character under his belt, because what let him down before, and again, I'll reiterate this point tomorrow, what let him down before, in my personal opinion, was there was no backup. Your Fang's good, but it's, again, you're just going to hit that final, that penultimate barrier, you know, and it's like, just a little bit more firepower. You might have that firepower in Jury now, Ringe.
Yeah, it's looking like it. I'm hoping that we see Vega Patch show out tomorrow, really just rep for everybody. I think it's cool to talk about the other side of the coin with France dominating as they usually do from this region, but it's just awesome to see that a lot of the time I feel like, at least from my perspective being in America, that France kind of got lumped in with the rest of Europe, and now they're like letting it be known. They're like, you need to consider us like as one of the strongest countries, period. Not just part of the region, but like straight up the strongest country.
Yeah, so like when it comes to fighting games, at least from my knowledge and being in the scene for a little while now, the superpowers of Europe are UK and France.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's it. So it's like, okay, when we, like you said, when we are lumped together, it can be like, oh, it's just a free-for-all. Now that we're segregated and kind of more, fine-detailed with those regions, it's like, okay, cool. Here's their chance to shine. Here's our chance to shine, so on and so forth. And there's going to be plenty more action to come. But yes, do not forget, like we said, same time, same place, twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. I don't think there's anything else we need to mention.
No, sir. We will see you all tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other right here, twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. We will crown a champion for that region. Be sure to tune in then. See you soon.